Broadcasting from the capital of sports, it's the Matty B Show. Right here on Epis Sports Radio. Matty B on Epis Sports Radio.
Swung on and hit in the air. To deep right center. That ball is high. That is far. It is gone.
Very deep is right. Hits one deep to left field. Headley back near the wall. It's out of here. The Mets win the ball game.
The Mets win the ball game. I can't wait to hear that. Baseball coming soon. Got the World Baseball Classic on. You got USA.
The Jets win in overtime.
Oh man, Canada just scored 3. Tight game in the 6th. Here we go. Oh! It's Friday! What's going on, everybody? It's your boy, Matty B, Epis Sports Radio. This is Epis Radio Entertainment, episode 64. I have a very special guest speaker, a coworker and friend of mine, Tony Durham, here with me tonight. A lot going on in the sports world, but before we get into all of that, all right, we're going to introduce my man over here, Pots and Pans. Thank you for coming on. And again, he goes by Tony Durham, but I call him Ant, real name Anthony. What's going on, man? How you doing, bro?
Yo, another day, man. I can't complain. Thank you for having me on the show. I'm excited.
Thank you for coming on. I appreciate you. It's a little tight call. You're coming in late tonight, but we stuck to our word. We're here. 10 p.m.
Yes, sir.
All right, we showed up for ourselves. It's a beautiful thing. Lot going on in the sports world. You know, USA right now playing Canada, bottom of the 6th, 5-3 with 2 outs. Dominican beat Korea, just an absolute, trouncing of the, whatever you want to call it, just a domination completely by the Dominican team. They're ridiculously stacked, 10-0. You got a little Knicks, Indiana night NBA, Friday night NBA. Knicks, nice win over Indiana. Brunson, OG doing their thing. We're going to get into a lot of topics that I want to, get to, since it's been a while since I've actually been able to come on here and talk sports. We've been celebrating Women's History Month. Shout out to episode 63. Guest speaker Jenna Esposito came on. We talked about her music career, the whole 9. It's very fun to do. Can't wait to feature another woman guest speaker for this Sunday show, episode 65. More on that later. But before we get into all of it, my man, Pots and Pans, and introduce yourself to the people here on Epis Radio. Again, live on Twitch and YouTube. Tell us what you're about, where it all started for you. We're going to talk a little bit about your music. You came out with an EP this year in January. We're going to talk about that, out on all platforms as far as we understand, right? Spotify, Apple Music, the whole 9. Take me back a little bit, bro. Born and raised, everything. Let us know. Yeah.
As far as I can remember, man. As far as I can remember. So born in Manhattan, been in Manhattan Hospital. Raised in Queens a little bit, St. Albans. Most of my time is in right out here, Freeport, Long Island. That's where it all starts. Went through the entire school system out here. To a few different colleges. Went to first college was Cayuga, upstate New York.
Okay.
Yeah, upstate, far upstate, in Auburn. Second college was Nassau, and then University of Valley Forge. And now I'm finishing up everything in Grand Canyon online. So that's long story short.
What happened with the first college upstate? No good. Decided.
Too much freedom. Too much freedom, brother. Too much freedom, brother.
Yeah, I mean, listen, I went to Cobleskill, New York, for a little bit. I wasn't there for very long. All right.
Yeah.
So you're familiar? Yeah. So it intrigues me because, I had a lot of freedom myself.
You know what I mean? Coming from being, single parent with my mom, Only child till I was 9 years old. Literally just in the house. But it was sports in the house. Played here and there. I was on punishment most of the time. So by the time I graduated college and I was able to live on my own six
Mm,
hours away, that was probably the best and worst thing that could have happened to me.
mm,
Best and worst thing. Because it wasn't a not a bad. It wasn't a bad kid thing. Wasn't grades. Like I was playing a sport. So I went there with the understanding of okay, I want to play basketball. I got to stay get good grades. But what I wasn't prepared for was how much the teachers really don't care if you show up or not. Like when they
that's
tell you
true.
that, you really mean that. The teachers will, they'll do attendance. They'll see a hand. If they don't see, they won't go. Oh, I got to give them a call. I got to check. No, if you're there, you're there. If you're not, you're not.
You were in the public system, I'm assuming, or
Yeah,
private school, yeah.
no, it's public. It's public. Yeah,
Public, yeah, yeah. I mean, that's
public
how
junior
that
college.
goes.
Yeah,
And then
yeah.
you
So
said, all throughout your early stages of school, it was all in Long Island, or
yeah,
were
all
you
Long
in
Island.
Queens? Oh, okay,
No, all Long
yeah,
Island. All Long Island
yeah,
schools.
yeah.
All,
Yeah, I mean, I understand that. Growing up through the public school system, I did go to private school for high school. But very fortunate, to have that opportunity. Hey, take me back though a little bit. You said, your mother, single mother growing up. Was dad never in the picture for you? And the only reason
um,
I ask is because my father passed away at a very young age, and
I'm sorry to hear that,
I
bro.
was yeah. Thank you, bro. Appreciate it. Uh, actually, this month, was it March 30th back in '07. So it's been a long time, so his death anniversary is coming up, and the reason why I ask is because it's it sucks to hear that if dad was not around. I don't know your situation if you want to talk about it, but I know I understand at some level the absence of of not having a father figure like that around, and how that may affect you growing up, and so I'm just curious, no, just touching
Right,
on
right,
it,
right.
yeah. But if you wanted to talk about that, I
Yeah,
mean,
sure, sure.
was
So,
dad around? And yeah.
for a little bit of time, I do have a small recollection of my dad being
Hmm.
around. I was young, and then at a certain point, I didn't learn until later on why, but at a certain point, it was just gone.
Mm.
And then yeah, so but growing up, you don't really because it was so normal. Like I lived, I grew up without my dad for longer than I had him with me. It
Mm.
didn't really it didn't really affect me. I guess like how it would affect most kids. Like you get a little bit older, like 9, 10, 11, 12. And then you see something like that, it'll probably do a little bit more damage. But for me, it just kind of became the norm. You don't
Mm.
really understand the effects of growing up as with a single parent until you become an adult, and
Right.
you don't really understand it until you're an adult, you know.
Well,
So
what type of effect? When did that recollection come about? Like, what was that moment that it felt like it really affected you? For you.
um, definitely, I would say one thing, like a couple things that stood out. I played sports, so
Hmm.
my mom, she got me into as many sports as she could, but she wasn't a sports person. She only liked sports because of me. Cool,
Okay.
totally. When I went to the sporting events, most of the parent that was there were the dads.
Yeah.
So for me, it was almost like you felt it because there was no like real dad. There was no one there to show up for me other than my mom.
Mm.
No one to really coach me to learn to teach a sport. My mom didn't really do base. She didn't do baseball. She played basketball in high school, but it was a hobby. So that's where you feel it. You feel it most like when you're at sporting events where it's supposed to be dad son type of things and no dad. So that I always gravitated towards like my friends' dads. Like all my friends had great fathers who guided me in those moments. And then parent teacher conference was always awkward.
Yeah, that's
parent teacher.
tough. And you have brothers, right? I mean, how many brothers you have again? Yeah.
So these guys, so I have like, so really, I have one brother that's biological. Dad's
Okay.
side, don't really know him. These guys that I grew up with, though, these are like high school friends of mine. We still hang out to this day. Like I
Yeah.
told
Yeah.
you, we're gonna play the GameCube tonight.
Yeah.
After I'm done with this. So these are my brothers that I grew up with, like since high
Okay.
school. But, blood couldn't make us any closer. It's one of those things.
Yeah, I mean, pretty much, blood, right? Yeah, I understand. You definitely got
Our
those.
families know each other and everything. Yeah.
You definitely got those friends. But even then, you said you had one other biological brother. That's tough on mom. Single mom doing a thing. I can imagine. At least she, seemingly made the effort. by trying to be there and trying to be present, and not knowing. That's tough, man. That's tough. So talk a little bit about that. So you tried out the whole sports thing. Was it ever like serious for you? Did you ever like get to a competitive level where you thought maybe this is the thing, or was obviously knowing you do music now, was music always the thing? Where what was it for you growing up? Because me, it was all about, at one point in my life, I thought it was going to be, Major League Baseball, the whole nine. You know,
Right.
got to college and kind of like had that, you know,
Right.
that turning moment where it's like, maybe this is not it. Maybe at the end of the day, I'm 5'9" and I may not be able to make it. Yeah. So what was that? What was it for
Yeah.
you? Was basketball the
Um,
thing? Did you think that was it, or was it music always?
to be honest with you, so music was always around. Like music was always
Okay.
around. Music and sports for me kind of always went hand in hand because like we'll freestyle, we'll go make a beat or something. We'll be rapping on our spare time when we're not playing the sport.
Hmm.
So that was like I kind of discovered those at the same time. But basketball started off as a way for my mom to get me to do something productive other than hang out with my friends.
Mm.
You know what I mean? Because like, don't get me wrong, like at the time we were young, kids. You influenced by what you think is cool, the music. So you kind of not necessarily looking for the right things to get into, like what I mean. So basketball was like, okay, we need something to occupy some of that time, and it's productive.
Were you a
So
troubled kid? Were you hanging with the wrong crowd?
definitely, yeah, like for me, I was always like, I'm not like I'm not big on being a follower, but
Hmm.
as a kid, you want to fit in. So I wasn't, I guess maybe I was like mischievous. I was a kid. It was nothing crazy, but enough to where it's like, yo, this kid is bad. Like, okay, maybe a couple stolen bikes in the neighborhood or stolen, you know
Uh
what I mean?
oh.
Yeah, it was nuts, bro. It was nuts. But for me, as someone that got his bike stolen, I never wanted to indulge. But
Mm.
I'd be with my friends, and I'm not there saying like, yo, we shouldn't do this. I'm with them. I'm hanging
Mm.
out with them. These are the guys. So my mom understood that. So she used basketball like, yo, we got to get away from these guys. Let me put you around some guys that that's serious about something.
Yeah.
So we tried soccer, didn't like it. We tried baseball, didn't like it. Basketball just ended up being the one that stuck.
Yeah, I mean, you're, pretty freaking tall too. So I mean, how tall are you? You're easily over
Six
6 foot.
five,
Yeah, yeah. I was about to
six
say,
five.
damn. So I mean, basketball would be the route. Yeah. Not
Damn
to
right.
throw that stereotype in there, but
No, no,
like
right. No, it
damn,
makes sense.
but
We're not gonna go
yeah.
play tennis, right?
I mean, listen, all kids need an outlet. You know what I'm saying? And if unfortunately, if you're in an environment that breeds that type of culture, you know, it, it's good on your mom, to put you in a situation, to thrive, right, and get you
Right.
away from that negativity. Um, it's weird. I feel like for me, I was handed a lot of opportunity, but it was always seeking, you know, other things, the things that I shouldn't have been at a younger age. I had, I was very privileged in the sense that, you know, I was playing baseball, organized baseball. I was playing organized basketball, but it was like I wanted to hang out with the bad crowd. I wanted to be at the park, smoking, drinking, and doing whatever, and not really focusing
Right.
on the shit that I should be doing.
Matter. Yeah. Yeah.
Um,
Exactly. You get
it's
it.
weird. Took it for granted. Took it for granted
Took it
completely.
for granted.
Yeah, yeah. You feel that way a little bit? Do you look back on
Oh,
your early years, and do
yeah,
you have
definitely.
regrets at all? Because I don't really look back and say I have regrets. I certainly could have made better choices, but
Right.
I don't know if I have regret on things. What do you think?
I I don't think I have any regrets because I could see why, like, the older I get, like they say you never know why something happens until like you a few years down the line and you look back and you're like, oh, okay, now I understand.
Hmm.
So for me, looking back at everything that's happened in my life, it had to happen for me to be in the position I am right now. Like it couldn't have happened no other way. So I don't regret it. I think there are some things I could have given more effort to, like,
Hmm.
even playing sports, like, like there's people like I was on a team and I took being on a team for granted. I didn't go as hard as I should have,
Hmm.
things like that. But no regrets, man. No regrets.
Is there anything, in your earlier, childhood stages that like stood out, like something that was like, a huge turning point for you? Whatever it is, growth wise, psychological wise, morally, like, is there something, turning of the chapters, if you will, that type moment. I mean, I have several moments. I could give you an example in my life. Is there anything for you that stands out?
There was a lot. Yeah, I could name a few. The 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 earliest, the one thing that I know that really changed my whole perspective on things. I remember, like it's a bunch, but the one for me is I was in ninth grade, high school, going into high school, Freeport High School, and it was this big. I didn't know about it until the day came. Like you hear rumors and stuff,
Hmm.
but it was like this big Spanish versus black thing that was going on.
Okay.
Didn't understand it. Like yeah, it must have happened. Like that's the things with beefs. Like the people that inherit it don't really know what they're fighting for. They're just fighting, like aimlessly. It's kind of weird, but I could remember going into ninth grade and throughout the whole year them saying it was going to be a big Spanish versus black brawl. If you were black and Spanish, like you just go the other way. It was weird. So me, I'm a student, didn't think much of it.
Mm.
But sure enough, that day came. I think they pulled the fire alarms just to get everybody out in the open.
Hmm.
And sure enough, a group of black kids, if you were involved in it, and a group of Spanish kids proceeded to brawl.
Wow.
But what was crazy is that people got into the crossfire. Like so you just be a black kid in the hallway, and if the wrong group of Spanish guys saw you, you were gonna get
Right.
jumped.
Wow.
And then the same vice versa. You
Where
could
was
be a
this? What
Spanish.
school was this?
This is Freeport. I'm not gonna lie to you, bro. It's Long Island. It's weird, man. Freeport, like Long Island, has a weird dynamic, man. I promise you. But
You don't
Long Island,
say.
yeah, Long Island has a weird dynamic here, man. But it was Freeport High School, so that was going on, and it was crazy because people really got hurt behind that. People really got hurt, and then after that, like it's never just a one time thing. The next day, the losers they want to get back. They want to
Mm.
feel as if they got to win, so it doesn't really stop there. I know people that couldn't even take the short way home because they was afraid they was gonna get jumped, beat up, robbed. It was weird, but that changed my whole perspective on things. Like, wow, the world is really, really nuts. Like,
Were you a participant in this, or were you just a
no,
bystander?
no, heck no, no.
Yeah.
I was too afraid of my mother, and I wanted to be. I was like at that point, high school. I was really heavy into basketball and travel team.
Hmm.
So
Okay.
you get in trouble. Yeah, you had the right coaches kept me. Look, the right coaches warned me enough to not be around that. The right coaches kept me out of it. But I know friends that hey, yo, they didn't back down from it. They didn't stray away.
Hmm.
And I guess my biggest flaw in that would but you don't know, but at the time is like letting them know, like, yo, let's, not this time, you know.
Yeah, that reminds me a little bit of my high school experience. I didn't have like that whole like black Spanish thing. That's kind of crazy. Um,
Crazy.
but I certainly, there was these, there was a lot of gangs. There was a lot
Right.
of guys affiliated with gangs and things like that. Back
Then
then
of
the
course the
blood, the
cartels.
bloods and the Crips were still relevant.
Huge, huge
You
relevance.
know, I don't know if that's really a relevancy nowadays. To be honest with you, I have no idea. But back then, when I was going to high school, it was a thing. I mean, I remember growing up as a kid. I would intentionally avoid wearing certain red or blue colors just to avoid any type of affiliation.
Yep,
There
yep,
was a couple of
yep,
times I walked around the way and I'd get questioned for something I was wearing because of the colors.
yep.
So
You had to be careful. You
I
had to be
would
careful.
I'd be mindful of that, and there was this one big brawl, man, and I was going to a private school in Astoria, St. John's Prep. You wouldn't think that shit's popping off on there over there, and for the most part it wasn't. But I definitely had some. I think it was the class ahead of me, the 2009 class. They were pretty rowdy bunch, and my class wasn't so bad with all the shit, but the 2009 class, for whatever reason, they had some old heads and there was a lot of beef going on. I don't know what the hell, um,
You know, it happens.
was going on, but like, I mean, there was some after school beefs, man, where you're talking crowds of people just going at it. I got caught in the crosshairs, a couple of times, and it's scary shit to see. I was always the type of person, that was doing my own thing. I mean, I'd be cool with certain parties and things like that, but for the most part, I flew
Speak for yourself.
solo, kept to
Right. Yeah. You
myself,
have
did
to.
my thing. I never really had enemies, but I never really had people in my corner either. Like I had,
Right.
a couple of people, whatever, I was close with. One that I'm still close with, today. Actually two that I'm still close with today from high school. So like other than that, not so much. But so that that's it's interesting to hear. How easily you could get caught up in that. And how easily it has that impression in our lives. The social influence from other people around us. Keeping us down, keeping you from excelling and over what bunch of nonsense. Come to find out that a
Blame
lot
on
of
the
these
movie.
people grow up to be functional adults who have really haven't grown up in that sense. You know I'm sure you see it. We see it in the
Yeah.
workplace, things like that.
Yeah. Yeah.
A
Yeah.
lot of immaturity, a lot of adults, or I shouldn't
Yeah. He
go
said
too
in the
far.
workplace.
Yeah, I shouldn't go too far, but you know what I mean.
That's hilarious.
Listen,
I
and I
hope.
don't.
Oh,
It's not
man.
only about where I'm currently working, but I've seen it as an adult in other places.
As
You
an
know what I'm
adult.
saying? A
Yeah.
lot
Yeah.
of
Yeah.
just people that are stuck in that young
That
mindset.
mindset.
And haven't really grown in that aspect. Haven't really
Right. Right.
matured in that aspect. But
You'd be surprised how many people are like that. A lot of people. Majority
yeah,
to me, it
I'm
looks
not
like.
really surprised anymore, to be honest with
I'm
you.
not surprised anymore. No. I'm not
I
surprised anymore.
used to be surprised. As I
Yeah.
gotten
Me
older,
too.
I was like, wow, okay. I thought there would be
You
like some
understand it.
sort of, and even with me, I listen. In my 20s, I was an idiot. I don't. I was just trying to learn and skate by. I'll be the first to admit my oldest son. I had him at a very young age. I was what 20 years old. I was
Mm.
totally unprepared to raise a child at that time in my life and everything that was still going on. I mean, at the time, his mother, getting pregnant, I was still partying away in college and things like that. So, it's like,
How could you not? Yeah. How could you not?
doing shit that I really had no business doing. You know,
Mhm.
it was only until my 30s where I felt a good grasp on things, where, like, okay, I figured it out a little bit. Still haven't figured it out, but you know what I mean.
And it better, but yeah, I get you. I get you. The pieces are starting to look better. The pieces are
Right?
starting to look better.
Yeah, just overall, I have a better understanding of how I want to navigate this thing we call life.
Right. Yeah.
But how easy it is to go back at a younger age and be so influenced by our peers and shit like that, man.
Easy. Too easy
So
almost.
so for you, where did the music come in? Where did that aspect start?
So it's funny because like I'll tell my friend E-Man, he's from Baltimore. He's the one that really. All right. So I used to a friend of mine. We used to Eric and another friend of mine, Danny, childhood friends. They used to we had a MacBook, the one of like the earliest ones, and they had this app called GarageBand. And at
Yeah, I
the
remember
time, like
GarageBand. Yeah.
GarageBand, and at the time, Lil Wayne was like, he do the rap on anybody's beat, anything. So we
Mm-hmm,
like,
mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
like that was the generation of imitation. Like we used to see basketball things, and we're like, let's go try it. We used to see
Right.
music things, let's go try it. So we started off on a laptop like that, and after that, it was just fun, like a hobby. But it's weird, like as kids, you kind of put yourself in a box where like you like we were literally making music.
Mm-hmm.
But because of the music that we saw and the greatness we saw, we were like, oh yeah, this is nothing compared to them. But we weren't coming from the perspective of they had to start somewhere too. We
Mm-hmm.
just thought, nah, so never released no music in high school. It wasn't until I got to college and I met a good friend of mine to this day, E-Man. He knew audio engineering, things like that. We
Mm-hmm.
used to freestyle in the locker room. He was like, yo, why don't you let's go to the studio. Let's put this on a song. Let's see. Went
Right.
to the studio with a few of my teammates, and he really showed me the ins and outs of putting a song together.
Nice.
from recording. Wait, let's erase this part. Do this over. And I was like, wow. And then from then, I recorded my first SoundCloud project on my MacBook with the regular old school headphones that we was talking about earlier with the microphone. I had to
Yeah, the
keep it,
old school
you know.
headphones. So
I
hold
had
on. I just have to
you're right.
comment on that
The
real quick.
original,
I just
the
have to
original.
comment. So
That's funny.
pre-show, just for those listening out there, all right. Pre-show, I'm setting up and everything. I'm over here. I'm telling Ann, I'm like, yo, do you have any, you have any headphones, with the mic, whatever, the old school ones where, like earbuds, with the wired connection, the whole night. I can't believe I said old school headphones, and
Crazy.
like I'm
A lot of
only.
times gone by since they was first introduced, though.
It's
Yeah.
it's a fact, and it's really like because now every day, everybody's got the freaking little earbuds, the AirPods or whatever.
Yeah.
Most people
Yeah.
at least. But I
Yeah.
noticed the wired headphone is coming back. All right, I've noticed that there's a bit of a trend going on, and I think
Mm.
it has to do along the lines with the frequencies and things like that. They say the Bluetooth frequency not good for you. You
Right.
know,
Right. Of course. Of course not. Can't be.
health wise, the long term usage, we're all screwed. It's just so I've heard, so I've read. That they say that the whole Bluetooth, the things like that with the phones,
Even our phones. Yeah. It's too much. It's
it's not
radiation.
good.
Yeah. It's too much.
So they say to limit that, wired headphones is better. But
Right.
I digress. Either way, the whole point of it, to that whole on the tangent, was to talk about how I feel like I'm getting old because now I'm referencing old ass, buds with the wire as old school
Old
headphones. But
school headphones.
anyway, you could continue on with your whole, the music stuff.
Yes. Yeah, no. So that was it. So I recorded the first project off the old school headphones where I had to keep the mic perfectly still. And if it moved even a little bit, I had to do it over.
Oh
And
my
then after
god.
that, then after that, my brother, they heard that and it was like, oh man, look, we want to try it. And like, everybody just kind of came together and we realized like, yo, my guys, like, they're not just because they're my guys. We all are pretty talented. And we hear people around us saying, yo, y'all should take this a little bit more serious.
Mm.
Next thing we know, we're in real music studios with real artists, with real producers and real engineers. And that's just what it's
Anybody
been for
notable that you can name drop a little bit that you worked with?
I worked with an engineer by the name of what was his name? Ryan. Ryan was his name. That was like over in Sound Studios in Merrick, New York.
Okay.
I worked with him. My first album got done there. I was there like every Sunday, like for a month, every Sunday for like 8 hours. Me, Ryan, and my brother Kai. And he worked with he works in a studio called Quad Studios, and he was telling me he did some records for dang, I don't even know if I could say the artist's name. Like, is that a breach of something?
Is the music released?
Yeah, I don't. Yeah, it is released. It's mixed and everything, but it was like
Yeah,
Cardi
so you can,
B,
you can talk
like
about it. Yeah,
Offset,
yeah.
A
If it's been
Boogie.
released, yeah, for sure.
So yeah, the producer himself, the engineer himself, he worked with a lot of good artists.
Mhm.
So that was dope. And then like I've been around like artists that I know for a fact are gonna be, one day it's like, yeah, I sat in the room with these guys, but that's it so far. I remember one time, a close friend of mine, his cousin, you heard of Pooh Shiesty?
Yes,
Oh, you heard, okay, man.
I've
I'm not
heard of
surprised
them.
when you're-
I haven't. Do I indulge? Not really, but I've heard. I've heard the name.
Okay, it's a different kind of music. Yeah. So
Yeah.
Pooh Shiesty, we was up in Rochester, New York with like Pooh Shiesty. So
Okay.
that was a cool experience. Different kind of energy, different vibe, but like not unfamiliar. So, but it was a good experience. But
What genre would you fit him in?
Pooh
Shiesty.
Shiesty,
Yeah.
rap, drill rap. I would say
Drill rap, right? I was about to
Yeah.
say because I'm pretty sure this is drill rapper. My oldest son, he's a drill rapper. He's into the whole drill
Yeah.
rap scene, so
Ah,
that's
man, it's
why
easy to get
I
him.
recognize the name because I'm like, all right.
Yeah.
So wait, have you drill rap before? Is that your thing, or is it like what is this? Your Be Back Soon EP.
I
Is
like
that
I like I like drill. Don't get me wrong. I listen to drill rap almost every day. To be
okay? You
quite
do.
honest. I do listen to drill rap
Yeah.
heavy, but me personally, it's not what resonates with it's not what resonates with with me, like it's not what I have to say because like even though I was around it, I don't necessarily come from that life. So if it feels weird for me to talk about something that I necessarily didn't experience myself.
Yeah, because
So
I mean, drill rap is pretty.
it's intense.
It's intense. It's pretty vulgar. It's pretty out there, man. It's a
Intense.
lot of
It's
a lot of
intense.
gang violence, a lot of this and that. I'm not necessarily completely supportive of the genre. And
Right.
listen, I come back. I grew up with '90s hip hop. That whole thing. I was big into the underground, early 2000s, all that. So one
Yeah,
of my
yeah, yeah. You
favorite
talk about.
artists is MF Doom. I
I know.
listen to
R.I.P. R.I.P. Yeah, yeah.
I listen to
Of course.
Pete Rock, CL Smooth. That's my whole thing.
Yeah. P.
I'm
Rock
more
and
of a
CL got to be the
you know
short shot.
I
Yeah.
I'm
Okay.
more conscious rapper type. Like I like that
You might
shit.
like my music. You might like
Yeah,
my music. You
I
might like my music, brother.
I'm sure I will. I'm as long as it's along those lines. What I'm saying.
Yeah,
And
you might like my music, brother. You might
yeah,
like
I
my
was
music.
listening to one of them before we got on. What I'm saying. So, but it's why. When you mentioned it, I was like, damn, I didn't, that was something I didn't even know about you and,
Yeah, I
coming
gotta do
on.
better. I
Yeah,
gotta do better.
and you mentioned it before, like shortly before, how this is something that your friends had encouraged you, to be more open
Listen,
about. I mean,
right.
especially if your stuff is out there, man. Listen, I mean, and we could talk about that. Like, what is it that is holding you back? You say, we were talking privately. You mentioned to me, and I hope you're okay with me sharing this, how
Go ahead, bro.
you're a little bit afraid to talk about yourself, and I can understand that perspective, especially being a content creator last couple of years and really going hard, and and honestly for me the growth has been slow. Sometimes the way I describe it as it's a slow clap in a big room, and that feeling can get very intimidating, very daunting at times. So I can understand the hesitancy you might have to, promote your music, do your thing, or even, you know, lack the courage to want to put stuff out there. But clearly you did. At some point you made that shift. What is it? Is there anything holding you back now? Like why, what's getting to you on that? What's holding you? You know?
Initially, it was all confidence. Like I don't know how to explain it. Like I'm not super confident. Like I know I'm good at stuff,
Mm-hmm.
but when it comes time to now put stuff out there, I was really like, oh yeah, I'm not good enough to be rap with them guys. Like nah, but this I'm good at it enough to do it for fun.
Mm-hmm.
And I think my first project on SoundCloud was cool. I didn't promote it at all, but my friends that knew, they listened to it. They knew. After the SoundCloud project, I think I put out a single or something, or maybe years later, and then a friend of mine hit me up, and he was like, "Yo, this is the first project you did." Matter of fact, I'll say his name, Jalen. My friend Jalen
Mm-hmm.
Archer. He was a teammate of mine in college. He coaches men's basketball now. He's a great dude. He told me one day, he hit me up and was like, "Yo, this is a really good project. I listened to it top to bottom." He said, "Yo, one day your music is gonna save someone's life."
Mm-hmm.
I had never heard that, bro. He said that to me, and I
High
was like,
praise right there. High praise for sure.
yeah, nobody says things like that for no reason. So he
Mm-hmm.
said that, and don't get me wrong, the encouragement from everyone around me helped, but that's a very strong thing to say about someone's music because I know what it's like to listen to something and be like, I needed to hear this song today. You know what I mean? So
Mm.
that made me want to like start really putting it out there more. And now, even now, the only thing that's holding me back is just how constantly the music is changing. Like I want to stay true to my process. I want to make good
Mm.
music. I want to put it out there, and I don't want it to feel forced. It feels like now we live in a day and age where you kind of have to force your stuff on people in an overwhelming way for it to stick. And I don't want to be a force feeder. Like I want people to find out about it and then consume it as much as they feel like they need to without me having to just here go listen, go listen, go listen, go listen, go listen, go listen, go listen. Or here's a video, here's a video, here's a video, here's a video. I don't even like to be present that much. I don't like to be even, but if you want to go hear my music, go listen to the music. But I don't like to be like, you know what I mean? I don't like to force myself
I feel you, and
it's weird. It's weird.
it's understandable to have that idea. the beauty with the algorithm nowadays is that the algorithm is literally designed so that your content will find the right people. Like that's like you don't have to do much outside of just being consistent and having a product that people are interested in. It may take time, that's for sure. I know that the best, like, because it's weird. I have good growth on YouTube, but not great growth on Instagram and things like that, but like one thing remains is that consistency is key. And I haven't always been as consistent as I would like to. You don't need to force feed things to people, but at the same time, you do need to put yourself out there and promote. The more you do put out there, the more eyeballs, are going to be on you. It's just the reality,
That's the
so,
reality. Yeah, you're right.
but just understand that the algorithm is designed in a way that the people that you want to find you are going to find you, so, and again, at the end of the day, you need to be putting out a product that's worth the while. And that's always, that can always be a weird, winding road, but I encourage you to not really give a shit about that.
Don't get you. Yeah.
Just do it. I mean, because listen, man, the reality is, man, people are going to judge you one way or the other. They're going to either be rooting for your downfall or rooting for you to succeed. It doesn't matter, regardless. If this is what you care about, this is what you want to do, then do it. It's not really going to matter much in your daily life whether or not, so and so likes it, or they do like it, or this one commented and made fun of you, or this one commented and praised you. Like it's minute at the end of the day. And if you don't do anything, if you decide to not post, or you decide to not create a certain music, and like well, then you're just going to be in the position you're in now. You know what I mean? So you're better off just putting yourself out there and making the effort. And hey, maybe it could be life changing for you. Maybe it could, it could lead you down a different road. It can open a new door, that you weren't quite expecting, to find.
Right.
But the only way to get there is by doing, and unfortunately, that can mean a lot of failure. Most of the times it's going to take sports as an example, bro. You play basketball growing up. How many shots you going to take that, you fail? But hey, you know what? If you make 40% of them, all right, what is, do the math. 60% of the times you fail, but 40% is damn good. We consider, so most of the time you're failing, but yet you're still succeeding. It's the same thing with anything you do in life, man. Not every song is going to stick. Not everything you're going to say is going to work, but, it's trial and error, and you only get better by doing, I've had to learn that. I've done, this is my 64th episode on just the sports podcast alone. I have another podcast that's mental health related. I've done shit before that, and you think I was, as good as I am now in episode 1? Hell no. Like I was atrocious, It takes repetition, like anything. It takes practice, and just being unapologetically you, my friend. Like that's something that you got to understand, especially in this social media space. Because this is what we got, man. This is what we got. You only got one life. You can't be worried about what others going to think and dictate your movement, It's something I've talked about a lot on the mental health shows. And it's nice to hear somebody share those same thoughts and, flaws, because it troubles my mind, too. These are human things to think about, you know what I'm saying? And we're naturally human. We can't help ourselves. It's that inner story in our head, kind of making us second guess ourselves, right? Right. You gotta shy away from it, man. Fight through it. Fight through it. You're clearly capable. Especially when you got other people in your corner telling you, hey, I see something in you. I believe in you, man. Listen to that. Feed off of that. Forget all the other negatives. There's always gonna be people that shit on you. You know what I'm saying? I know, there's people in my life definitely, I'm sure rooting for the downfall. I don't know, who, whatever, why. I don't concern myself with that bullshit anymore. I used to. It used to bother me, and that's why I didn't do as much as I used to do in the past, because I was holding myself back. I was too worried about, fear of failure or what other people might think, and it's silly. It's stupid. I mean, it's just not how you should live. You shouldn't let anybody dictate your movement in your life like that. Outside of the the ones you truly respect and love, and you value their opinion, but and then you got to figure out what's best for you. Any thoughts on that? I know I just went on a little tangent.
No, man, you were speaking, man.
Yeah.
I'm glad
Yeah.
I got to hear that. I'm glad people are gonna get to hear that.
Yeah.
Good stuff, man.
Yeah. No, I know. I think it was a good spot for that, man. It's a really good topic, and it's an important thing, for anybody that's creating content or, artists, like you said, you're doing your thing. I pulled up your Be Back Soon EP. This is the little thumbnail that you got off your website on Instagram. Check him out. All right, we do have his handle on the screen as well. Official, was it Official J? It was Official J6.
Official 6.
Oh, Official 6 FIF. I'm sorry, I'm like bugging out over here.
Nice.
I could play a little clip for you. I don't think we'll have any copyright issues or anything like that. But
No, we shouldn't. It's my music.
Yeah,
No, it's my music.
yeah.
We shouldn't. I hope not.
yeah, I am.
Yeah, go do it. Yeah, go ahead. Go do it.
I'll play a little 30 seconds real quick for you. This is off the Be Back Soon EP. All right, from my boy Ant right here.
What song are you playing?
I mean, I could just play the first one, Be Back Soon, or you want me to play another one? You got, I mean, your EPs. Get Up, Don't Play Much.
The first one, let me see. The first one is good. The first one should work.
Yeah.
Let me see.
No, it's okay.
There you
A
go.
mistake is a mistake. You gotta live with the pain. Even though that pain change and it's never the same. I like to think that I'm an angel with the habit of sin. They say you're men, I'm in, but look what happened to them. Trauma deeper than the surface, gotta reach through the skin. And even when you break the surface, gotta look deep within. Patient waiting, patient. But let's get lost in the beat. Fuck around, you can get lost in the memes. Bad bitch, see you got boss in the G, but you want a real one to hold you down, low key. I've got. But let's get lost in the beat. Like when your waist winding slow on me.
Played a little bit off the first track. This is the second track, Get Up.
Reason and you make it even just like Steve, and that's the only reason you're not leaving.
Just don't play too much.
That's the only reason you're not leaving. Then you make it even just like Steven. That's the only reason you're not leaving. You can see we made it from the bottom. Keep it on the low, don't talk too much. If I say I love you, what's the problem? Keep it on the low, don't show too much. If that man a problem, then I got him. Keep it on the low, don't speak too much.
I like that hook right there. Keep it on low, don't talk. I like that one right there. That was dope. Check him out. All right, out on Spotify. What else you got? Apple Music, Amazon Music, Pandora. You out on everything, for real?
Everything.
Yeah, nice. And that was released January this year?
January this year, yeah.
Yeah. Check them out. All right. Go give them a follow. You see the handle Official 6 FIF on Instagram. Tony Durham on Facebook. I could pull up the page as well for you guys. All right. Bro, this is what I'm saying, man. Listen. Just to, recap that conversation that we were having, man. Do your thing, bro. Shit, look at you with the 3,000 followers. You got more followers than me on IG, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like, come on, man. Believe in yourself, homie. Don't ever get discouraged, bro. And listen, man. I know some names in the music industry too, so. I could definitely hook you up with some guys, and
Oh yeah, much
keep
appreciated.
on doing your thing,
For sure.
But
sure.
yeah, keep me informed. Let me know, if you come on a future
I got a show
episode.
coming up. I got a performance coming up.
Oh,
April
there you
2nd.
go. Where at?
It's in the
Where at?
city. It's a private event too. It's in the city. It's actually It's like it's a remembrance for Nipsey Hussle. I'll send you all the information.
Oh, nice, dope,
I got you.
nice.
Yeah,
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 man.
yeah.
Have you been promoting that online?
No, I'm gonna start though. I should be doing that right now. I'm gonna literally start literally it's like today. Like I'm gonna start posting it, handing out these flyers, getting because I have to actually have the guest list. What's it called? Like the guest list has to be like it's no at the door. Like everyone has to be locked in by a certain time. So I'm gonna start that ASAP.
All right. Well, again, mention it again. Where at? What's the date,
April
time?
2nd. April 2nd. Let me see. I think I got the flyer.
Yeah, a little breaking news here on Epis Radio Entertainment. All right, announcing of the show. Okay, we had a little breaking news on the last show. We need a little breaking news again. There you go. It's a celebration of Nipsey Hussle. Is it a celebration of life?
Yeah, celebration of life, Nipsey Hussle. Power 105.1.
Okay. Oh, so
you judge it.
105.1 sponsoring the event?
Yeah. This is my first time, so I'm excited. So I'm gonna invite some people to try to get them out to that April 2nd.
Nice. And what's the venue right here?
And you know what's crazy? It doesn't say it on
It doesn't say on it. Does it give you a location?
It's in the city. I think it's gonna.
I'm sure it's got to say the venue.
Yeah, I think. Private event by invite only location, New York City. That's all it says. So I'm
Oh,
pretty
so
sure that,
they legit, keeping that location.
yeah. It's not like
private,
it's not like
Yeah.
an address. Yeah, but I'm an artist and I don't even know. You know what I mean? So
yeah. What they're gonna let you know the week of? Well, either
they're
way,
gonna let
that's
you know
dope.
the day. Yeah, you know what I'm saying.
That's dope. So this is definitely closed door event, not open to the
Yeah.
public. But regardless, a little bit of breaking news here on Epis Radio. All right. And listen, man,
But
good luck
if
to
you
you.
want to go,
Yeah.
let me know, and then I have a certain deadline, and then get your name on the list, and we're good. Yeah,
No doubt, no doubt. But that's awesome, man. I mean, listen, proud of you.
I appreciate it.
Freaking, you
you, man.
definitely should be geared up for that. You know, I mean, hey, you never know, bro. You never knew who's watching. You gotta, it's your time to shine in that sense. That seems like pretty big event. So, and because it's so private, I'm sure there's gonna be somebody there of importance. So,
Yeah,
do your
gotta take
thing,
a
man. You gotta get
I
ready for
will.
that. Yeah.
Yeah, I will. You're
All
more than
right.
well. You're more than invited, bro. You're more than invited.
I appreciate you, man. I thank you for that. So, let me switch this up right here. So sports. Again,
Awesome.
we covered the music aspect of thing. I mean, before we get into the whole sports thing, is there anything else you want to touch on? Yeah, I know. We talked privately. You said recently you lost somebody in your life close to you. You want to maybe save that for later, or you want to touch on that before we get
No,
into
we could
those?
touch on that because
Yeah,
mental health is a real thing. I lost my brother this past week. He took his own life.
blood brother.
No, and again, this is
Yeah,
somebody
yeah.
I met. This was my college roommate for a period of time.
Okay.
Yeah,
He
when
just
I was
recently unalived himself, as they say on the internet nowadays.
yeah. This past week, yeah.
Damn, man, I'm my condolences. That's terrible.
Yeah,
Do you mind
appreciate.
how he how he
I didn't
achieved that
I didn't even get I
unfortunate
didn't even
feat?
get I didn't even get the details. I
Okay.
didn't even get the details.
Damn, how old was he?
Yeah. 31. My age, around
31
my
years
age.
old.
He's a year younger than me. Yeah.
How long did
Yeah.
you guys know each other for?
Since I was 20, maybe like 10 years,
Okay.
at
Uh,
least somewhere around there, for sure. Yeah, definitely. Maybe
As
more, a little bit more.
somebody that you really were close with over that
Yeah, that
time
was my dog.
span,
In
yeah.
college, in college, I was my dog. I hate
Yeah.
how life has a way of like, distancing. You only speak to people every here and there. The love is always the same.
Mhm.
But, you go from seeing someone every day that's your teammate 6 days a week, 7 days a week for like 3 years, 6, 7 times out the month to now suddenly, like, speaking to them here and there, seeing them here and there to now to get to this point. But that was my dog.
Any any speculation as to why he came about this? Just to give us a little insight, maybe. Was he substance abuse or anything like that, rough
No,
upbringing, things
definitely
like that, you know?
I say that. You know what I'm saying? I could say no because I know him, but you
Yeah,
never really
yeah,
know. You know what I'm saying? I'm not even close enough to him now to know that. You
yeah.
know what I mean?
Mm.
The person I know definitely like nah.
Yeah.
You know,
So
I
essentially
know he
no
was in the
no
army.
warning
You know
signs.
he was
Yeah.
in the army. He was in the army for a little bit.
Okay, okay.
You know, I met him at a Christian college.
Mm.
You know, I know he did his thing in the army.
Was
You
he
know,
was he like stationed overseas? Like did he actually see combat, things like that?
don't know.
Yeah. Yeah,
So
I
yeah,
mean it's tough, man. You know, and a reason why I ask is, you know, a lot of these times with people like this, man, you just really don't know the struggles that some people are going through. That's why, you know, it really pays to be kind to others, you know.
the time,
Um,
yeah.
especially like coworkers, just friends, you know, people you never know, man. You know, like it you know, we're all going through shit. We're all fighting these silent battles and man, you know, people are just so quick to judge and really, you know, point the finger. And in reality, they just don't know what the hell you're going through. Um,
Right.
you know, it's, you know, I think overall, it's a reminder that we all really need to be more kind to each other in that regard. Because, you know, especially with men, man, you know, certain upbringings, you know, we're told, you know, to suppress these emotions and really, you know, keep it bottled in, you know, be a man and, you know, be a man's man and, you know, grow up and, you know, not feel these feelings. Meanwhile, you know, we're just human, man.
Right.
You know,
Right. Right.
we're just human. We're you know, it's okay to feel these freaking things, man. It's okay to understand that, you know, we're having a moment of weakness, but you know, society, you know, we've been conditioned to tell us otherwise. And man, my condolences for you. It sucks.
Yeah, I appreciate you. Yeah, I appreciate you.
I've definitely had, you know, some friends over the years unalive themselves. My uncle had unalived himself way back in the day. You know, drug overdose, the whole nine bad. I think it was. I'm not really sure too on the details, but we speculate. You know, it was a little, you know, cocaine, little, you know, alcohol, you know, ecstasy, you know, pills, just a whole cocktail of, you know, of things, maybe even a little heroin in there, you know, literally found in my grandmother's bathtub over at the old apartment in Jackson Heights. And, you
Mm.
know, I loved him. I loved him dearly, man. He was a larger than life figure. And you know, it's a shame still to this day, makes me think about it, you know.
Right. Right.
A girl that
Absolutely.
I was close with in college, you know, I've come to find out later on, after you know I left years later, that she unalived herself. You know, bad substance abuser. She had some issues back in the day, and it just caught up to her. And you know, like just you know, um, it gets in, but you would never know it, right? You would never know it when you're around these people. You
Right.
know,
Right.
smiling
Right.
all the time. You know, just full of joy, full of laughter and life. You know. Kind of reminds me of Robin Williams, man. He was like the prime example of all that. You know, you
Yeah.
see these larger than life figures, you know, smiling, happy all the time, but yet they're living these silent battles, man. It's tough. Have you ever struggled, you know, with depression, things like that?
Yeah. Of course.
You know,
Of course. I think that's a part of life. I think it's a part of life. I
mm,
think. Um, I think it's a part of life, and I think some people are fortunate to have people around them to get them through it. Some people aren't, and I don't know. It's weird. It's a tricky. Depression is a weird thing, man.
I mean,
Depression is a
that's
weird.
yeah, that's to say the least, no doubt.
Series, you know what I mean? So yeah, I
It's a
have, but
bitch.
yeah, yeah, I kind of learned to live with it. Like I don't
Yeah.
expect that to happen. I expect moments of depression to come,
Mm.
but it's like I gotta find ways to still be productive. I can't let it stop what I got. You know what I mean? I
Yeah.
can't let it stop. Life keep moving. You gotta keep moving forward. You know?
No doubt about it. You can't let it consume who you are. You know, otherwise, you know, it
Mhm.
can literally eat at the very, you know, fabric of your mind. And you know, I mean, we see that as a prime example. Like you said, your friend just passed, and I mean, you know, we only see the signs till it's too late a lot of times, and and that's the problem with it. And I think doing things like this matter. And that's why I like having these type of discussions on the show, because it reminds me that I'm human. It reminds me that I'm going through it, and hopefully those watching can resonate with it as well. And man, hopefully find somebody that needs it, and find somebody that needs that type of understanding that they're not alone. And we're all going through this shit, man. I mean, it's been a long time since I lost my father, but the pain still remains. You know what I'm saying? That, and for years I battled depression because of it. Finally now, I'm in a much better place. But that don't mean I don't get sad. That don't mean I don't have my feelings on it. You know what I'm saying? All it could take is one, song, and I'm right back in that, emotional state.
Right.
But I think the focus really needs to be on doing things like that, encouraging, especially men, because I feel like women are more in touch with the feelings, and that's just a fact. They, could be a little crazy at times, may not necessarily know how to portray the feelings, get a little hormonal, but yeah, the Mets, not the Mets, the men on the other hand, the Mets, the men on the other hand, suppress that shit for the most part, and we need to encourage our fellow men to. And listen, I get it's societal, there's a very, big stereotype around that, if you're not in touch, if you're in touch with your feelings, you're type of way, whatever, man. I don't buy into that shit. I don't know if you do. I don't know how your upbringing was with it, but my mom always, encouraged me to, talk, and listen, I had a therapist for a little while growing up, not anymore. But it definitely, it helped, it helped, shape who I am today. Maybe I care too much. Maybe I'm a little bit too emotional at times. That's to my fault, that's fine. I'll take that. But it is what it is, man. I mean, we're not perfect. We're human beings, like you said. And it's a tough, crazy world out there, man. But we keep on moving. We keep on moving forward, and we fight for another day. But just know that anybody out there listening, if you are, considering those thoughts, of unaliving yourself, anything like that, reach out to somebody, anybody, doesn't matter who. There's a crisis hotline that you could call. As a matter of fact, I could pull that up. But, don't shy away from it, There's people that can help you. There's people that, want to help you. You can call 988 Suicide and Crisis Lifeline. You can just dial 988. All right. You can call it, text it. There's a website. Check it out, please. Your life is too precious to just let go like that. All right, Ant. Good topic so far. We've hit the hour mark here on episode 64. So I think, right? Listen. This is what happens. We just get into it. We're chatting, and next thing you know, we're 2-3 hours in. All right, but I don't want to go too much longer. But now I think we owe it to the people to talk some sports. A lot of sports going on.
Let's do it, man.
All right.
See, I'm just really I really just basketball, but I keep up with sports on like a real average level. I'm looking at the scores here.
That's all right. Don't worry about it, man. I know. I'm gonna pick your brain a little bit. I know you're, a Nick guy. We've talked about sports a lot. That's basically been the premise of our relationship. I for those that don't know or watching,
Right.
You and I have known each other for a couple of years now. I came in, you were already there. It's been a long time, actually. Like
I was there already when you came.
I'm pretty sure, right?
Dang, I don't even remember, man. So many people.
How long you been at Northwell? I've been working for Northwell for 5 years, but I started at Zuckerberg I'd say about 3.5. I'm coming up on 4 years, I think. Yeah. Coming up on 4 years. How long you been with Northwell for?
2 years. That'd be 2.
2 years?
I think so.
No way.
Gotta be. Yeah.
More than 2 years. Has to be more than 2 years.
No. We got there around the same. That's the thing. We got there around the same time. Was I a greeter when you got there, or was I at front desk?
No, yeah, you were a greeter. I remember you making that transition. To the front desk. Yeah, it has to be like 3.5 years, bro.
No, it's not 3.5 years, bro. It's nowhere near.
So maybe you came in a little after me then. I don't know because I've been there for 3.5 years. I feel like you were there.
You have not been there for 3.5 years.
Me?
You have not been there.
Oh, I have.
There at that location?
Yeah, I have. Yeah. I have.
We'll talk about this on Monday.
Not Brian, like literally I have. I can show you the proof. I've been there for a while, bro.
I'll check my numbers. No way.
Yeah.
You're saying so we must have got no way it's been 3.5, bro.
Bro, I just got my 5-year anniversary pin from Northwell. So I only did mobile phlebotomy for at most 2 years. And I think it came in shy of 2 years. I think it was, or like just at that mark. So maybe 3 years, if I'm, remembering it. Yeah. Yeah. So either way, we'll figure out those logistics later. But
wow, no way. Okay. We're gonna come back to this. No way.
Shocked he is. Man, it's been that long, bro.
No way.
It's been that long.
No way.
Well, you saying no way I've been there for 3 years? What are you saying, 2 years? 2 years?
Because if you've been there for 3 years, then that means I've been there for 3.5 years.
I was about to say.
I just got my 1 year pin not too long ago. So I've only probably been there for at least, it has to be 2. I just got a 1 year pin. I got it on my desk.
They just gave you a 1 year pin now, even though you've been, almost 2 years?
No, that's what I'm saying. I've had that pin for a year. So it's maybe 2.5 years. You might be not 3.5.
Yeah, all right. So that lines up then. Maybe you came a little bit after me. Yeah.
I had to. I think you were there already. Come on, man.
Yeah, maybe I was. I could be forgetting that. I don't know. And certainly, there's been a lot of people that have come and gone. You know what I'm saying?
No way. No way.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Do you remember? You remember Francis that worked in the lab?
Never knew Francis.
Oh, see, yeah, there you go. So I was there when Francis used to work the desk in the main lab. For those of people that don't know, we work at Zuckerberg Cancer Center, for Northwell in Long Island, Lake Success, and we're just reminiscing a little bit about that. But yeah. So all right, so that makes sense. If you didn't know Francis, I knew Francis for a little bit before he left. So I was definitely there after you. Okay, I'll be for you. Yeah, but I feel like you were there since the beginning. So I remember your beginning again. But damn, I was like, you seem so ingrained in that culture that it just seemed like you fit and you were there. Again, and
it's a good time.
Our overall, how you enjoy your experience there? It's been good for you, because I love working at where I work. I do. Have my choice words about certain coworkers, but that's fine. We'll not talk about that. But but that's anywhere you go, man. I mean, you're not, like the reality is you're never gonna love, everybody you work with, things like that. I've worked in a lot of different environments. Overall, I mean, this is probably one of my favorite work environments that I've worked in, and I've worked in quite a lot of them. So for me, I've certainly found a home. If I'm at a job any longer than 2 years, I like it, because my history has always been that, like, once I hit that 2 year mark, I'm out, like, it's just, you can look back at my resume, there's a trend, There's only 2 jobs I've stayed at longer. It was this one, and I was an EMT for a private ambulance company out in Coney Island, Brooklyn. Stayed with them for about like 4 years, something like that, 4.5 years. So really enjoying my time there as well. How about you? Is this now the longest tenured job for you, or you doing? I know we didn't even touch on it. I guess it's a good segue into sports. You know, you we were talking about it before the show started. You coach youth sports. You've been in the game for a little bit doing that now. Talk about that a
Yeah,
little bit
yeah. Um,
as he chugs his water.
yeah, I'm thirsty. I've been doing this for 8 years. Well, I've been playing ball my whole life.
Right.
So it's kind of just it's been like natural to me. But I've been coaching youth sports, varsity, the last 8 years. But before that, it was what young 20-year-olds coaching eighth and ninth graders, seventh and eighth graders. My whole life, really, just basketball. It's just about basketball. So it's not really, you know.
And who do you coach for now?
Oh, that's the Malvern. I coach out in Malvern High School.
Are you assistant coach?
Coach.
Assistant coach, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, how's the team doing? Are you? Yeah, I believe you guys are playing right now, right? Because this is usually the time of the
No, we're
year you
done.
guys
No,
are.
we're
Oh,
done.
you guys are done.
This is it's playoff time, but yeah, no,
Okay.
we didn't do too bad. We win a record. We went to playoffs back to back years. We got a
Mhm.
young team. I think we're gonna be all right. We'll be all right. We're not concerned. Two early playoff exits, but we went there back to back after years of missing it. And
What
we
was the
did it. We
record this year for you guys?
12-8, 12-9, 12-8, something like that.
All right, all
13 maybe
right.
13.
Up and down season, up and down season a little bit there, yeah. And I'm assuming you're talking boys varsity.
Girls, we're on girls
Oh, you're playing
varsity.
girls. Okay, nice, nice, nice.
Varsity.
Always been with girls, or you have
Nah,
coached the boys
seventh
before?
and eighth grade when I was seventh and eighth grade coaching for PAO, that was boys. Girls
Mm.
kind of just I got it just kind of happened. Just I got asked, but the head coach, she coached there for a while, but she knew me as a basketball player.
Mhm.
Um, she knew me. I started off training like she asked me, to train. So I just started off training with some of the players on the team. Started coming to some of the games, and at that time, she played there. She won a championship there. That's
Nice.
Amanda. Yeah, Amanda. Amanda Mason. She does a great job for the girls in the community that she grew up in. But she played for the high school, won a championship there, went on to college, did some
Mhm.
good things in college, volleyball and basketball. When she got out of college, graduated, came back to the community, was coaching there, I think, as an assistant. I could be wrong about the timeline, but she was coaching there as an assistant.
Mhm.
At the point, it got handed down to her. She's the head coach. She asked me to come. She knew how I felt about basketball, the X's, the O's, the psychology of it. Never coached, never thought about it, but she asked me because I had already been training some of the girls there anyway and giving my own like opinions.
Mhm.
She asked me to become assistant coach, and yeah, I started out just under her. She gave me the opportunity, and it's been good since.
Have
It's
you
been
ever
a good.
thought about coaching at a different level, or you see you're happy with where you're at right now? You're trying to advance in the game a little bit, or
I
you could.
gotta. It would be. I wouldn't be opposed to it, but I feel like I gotta get this down pat first,
Mhm.
almost. Like, I feel like there's levels. There's levels, and I
Well, you've
gotta.
been at this level
There's a
for
lot
quite
to
a
it.
while
Yeah, I've
now.
been, I've been here for a while, but
Yeah.
exactly. So I think I gotta have something to show for it before I climb that ladder.
Mm.
Cause that's a bigger body of water.
What do you
That's a different
think you
ball.
need to improve on in terms of your personal coaching, career?
Um, 8 years is still young. Some of the coaches we coach against, like, I feel like me personally, it's a matter of strategy.
Mhm.
Just being more confident in throwing stuff out there. From a strategy standpoint, but other than that, I know that at this level, it's just you gotta. There's always it's ups and downs. That's life. You know how it goes. We've had the downs. Now we're at the point where we have a team that's capable of doing amazing things.
Mhm.
We just now have to harness it and maximize it. That's it. We've had the downs. We persevered through that. Now we have the opportunity to change the culture a little bit, do things differently. Now it's just a matter about getting that potential, maximizing it, and just letting that be the culture. Once we make it out, let's just not look back. So we'll see. We'll see. I think we're good. I think we're here. I think we've been through everything. We've learned a lot. I think we'll be all right. We're good. I like where we're at.
So you're saying like you really want to establish some sort of a certain level of success there before you make the move elsewhere. To make essentially to booster that coaching resume of yours and to show like, hey, listen, we turned a mediocre program into a success story. And then really highlight that and maybe advance your career that way. Is that what you're saying?
I mean, that's if I wanted to advance my career, that's the way I'd want to do it. I would want to have something to show for it. But I never really came into it with the goal of wanting to advance, a career wise. I came into it really because a friend of mine gave me an opportunity to do something that I enjoy doing,
Yeah.
and being able to teach the next generation of kids and using basketball as a stage to do it. Like that's the perfect,
Right.
that's
Right.
what
Right. Right.
that's a great opportunity. And the town and the community I coach at, they embraced me as if I went there,
Mm,
you know.
mm.
And loyalty, like to me gets rewarded with loyalty. So I'd have to have something to show for it, and I think it have to put me in a better position to still be able to help them.
Right. I mean, listen, that's in itself super respectable, man. I mean, even coaching at any level, and then just honestly, for you, like you just said, doing it just for the love of it, giving back to the community, helping, you know, youth women, learn and grow and grow in the game and grow in their life, the whole nine. And it's such a that's a tough time at varsity, high school. I mean, that's such a huge time in anybody's life.
Great.
So it's a huge impactful moment, and to be a part of that is huge. So, you know, I give it to you. I give you a lot of credit. I'm sure you don't get paid for it. I'm assuming, or if you do, is very little. And that in itself is just noble. You're out there, for the love of it, just trying to pass on your knowledge, and it's commendable, man. I've considered coaching,
Yeah, you should,
and
man.
you know
Man.
I just don't, personally, with the amount of kids I have, unless I'm coaching my children, I don't think I really have the
Mhm.
time of it, right?
Fair
For
enough.
right now, maybe it may,
You learn from them. You
you
learn
know,
from them.
it may still be something that's on the table. I don't know. I have like, with my oldest son, I did help volunteer, for 1 year when he was playing, t-ball and shit like that. Like that, that's cool. I don't know if I could be a coach. At least I think knowledge wise, I know enough in the game, but I don't know if I certainly have the patience or at what level would want to coach. I don't know. I just don't know. you know,
I understand. I understand. I get it.
I'm more, find me up in the booth calling the game, that whole nine, like,
No,
or on
fair
the
enough.
radio
That's part of
talking
it.
about the
That's a part
sports
of it.
that, you're
That's
coaching,
necessary. No, that's necessary though.
Yeah.
It's all
I don't know if it's
necessary.
necessary, but it's a nice medium to
It's a spectator.
yeah.
It's a spectator sport. The announcers, the news reporters. That's all part of it.
No doubt.
That's
I
all
mean,
part
there's
of
a lot of value in somebody that can do color commentary and bring to life what it is you're seeing on your TV or what you're listening
it.
to on the radio. I mean, it's an art in itself. But a lot of us are just talking heads and not it's something that's worthwhile listening to. Listen, I'm shitting on myself here. It's in my own platform, but
That's hilarious.
you know it is the reality. At the end of the day, yeah, it's all just fun and games. It's not really all. Some people devote their lives to all this shit. I think it's a little funny at times, but I try not to take the sports too seriously, especially when it comes to the kids. If they want to do what they want to do, okay, fine. I'm not really gonna force them into any sports or athletics. If I feel like they're leaning a certain way, cool. Other than that, it's like let them kind of figure out their own thing. My dad was very heavy on me and baseball and basketball. I think when I got to college, I hit a certain point where I almost hated it.
Right.
And
Yeah.
it
Yeah.
felt
Be like that.
like
Be like that.
it felt like it was like all my life they were telling me I had to be this, and
Right. Right.
a part of me was like, nah, really, and to be honest, I still think to this day, if I wish I devoted more time into this type of craft, and maybe I would be somewhere else in that aspect. It's not a regret, just an understanding that I could have
Yeah. When you
really
put your time in, yeah, it's different
right.
investment. Yeah.
I could have, because I hit a certain level again, where I truly stopped being competitive in my mind in high school. I think my junior year, I was kind of like checked out. I was also doing a lot of crazy
So I
stuff
have a
around that
question for
time.
you.
Yeah, absolutely.
So would you two choices? Would you rather go back to a certain age? Let's say, would you rather go back to your 13 or 14-year-old self?
Oh, I like this
With
question. I like this question.
Would you rather go back to your 13 or 14-year-old self as you were at that age, 14, 13 years old, and start then, or be your age and start right now?
Be my age and start right now in regards to
Having everything you know now and starting right now at your age for the first time, or going back to
like
being
starting what
14-year-old?
specifically, like a whole new career, or just like what I do now with the show and all that. Because
Like what you do now,
you know,
like what you wanted to do.
I mean, if you told me, I had, like the dream job, whatever, or it's like I'm just starting from scratch again, like with everything at 34 years old. Because either way, I think I'd probably pick the
But you
34
still have the knowledge of it. You still have all the knowledge. Like you just
at
have to.
13. Yeah, no,
No. At 34, you have the knowledge. At 13, you have the knowledge of a 13. You're just going back in time to be 13 again.
yeah, no, I'd probably keep where I'm at now. You know,
Okay.
yeah, and because like I feel like I wouldn't, how can I say it? I don't think 13-year-old me it would have changed any differently. I think it would have played out
Exactly the same.
either exactly the same or potentially worse. To be honest with you, because there was so many times in my life where it really could have gone south, but it didn't. I had a lot of angels looking out for me. I'm not, for those that know, I'm not religious, but somebody was looking out for me. And there was so many times in my life where I could have ended up, done for, jail, like, and that's it. Like I'm not sitting in this seat now, so 34-year-old me understands that. Hey, yeah, I made some mistakes, but I'm here. I'm alive.
Right.
I'm well,
Right.
and I have a lot to live for. I have four beautiful kids that I love very much. That I care for them. That I want to be in their lives and be healthy enough and fortunate enough to see them grow. I have a lot of things in my own life that I want to achieve. I have a beautiful wife that I love very much. That is my best friend that I wouldn't trade the world for. I've been through a lot of girlfriends. There's not one that I look back on and like, well, there is kind of one, but no. But even then, I know that was, it was necessary and had to move on. I don't think I'd want to replay that again. I don't think I'd want to give that a try again. No. There's a lot of dark years, man. And, and you picked the right age because my father passed away at the age of 13. So that was like the smoking gun for me.
Sorry.
You know what I'm saying? Nah, it's fine. It's all good. rest in peace, Dad. Look. I got his picture right here. All right. When he was a young buck. I think he was freaking 16 or something like that in that photo. Nah. I mean, I'll pose the same question for you. Would you want to go back to 13, being in that 13-year-old mindset, running it back, or would you rather? How old are you now?
What am I? 32.
You say, what are you? Are you really? I thought you were a little younger. 32. I think we talked about this before.
Yeah, 32.
He's 32. So yeah, I pose the same question for you. Would you want to go back into that 13-year-old, body, knowing the same things you knew then, or would you, remain where you at now?
I'm going back to 13.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm going back to 13.
Okay. I mean, why? Why specifically? You don't think it would just play out the same way? You think, you'd have done some things differently?
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
That's a good pick. I just saw the pick on the live stream.
Oh, okay. That's right. Yeah.
I seen it. Yeah, nice. Then it probably look weird. Sometimes I'm looking at the live stream, they probably thinking like, what the hell is he looking at? Damn.
No, you good. Don't worry. Don't. No. I would tell you. Don't worry. You're all right, man. You're all right. Yeah.
But no. I'd say yeah, I go back to 13. Even if it did play out the same, shit, let's do it one more time.
I mean, it's intriguing.
It could get worse. It could get worse too. I understand that too, but it could get better. Some opportunity.
But what's better? And that's the thing, I mean,
it's subjective. Yeah,
it really is subjective, bro. Like what is better? What? Oh, you had more money. Man, you go back to 13 and die in a terrible car accident, a week later, and there you go. That's it. It's done. Not to be completely morbid, but you wanted to run it back.
That's a good point. That's a
Fuck
good
it.
point.
You should.
A lot of close calls can happen. Yeah. A lot of close calls can happen very differently. You're absolutely right.
That's why, bro, I mean, it was a time where, I took too many pills and, I was on the brink of death, and I definitely overdosed and, maybe I don't live through that, maybe it's worse, I don't know. And, I'm not really here to fucking find out, I don't know. I'm good. I lived my time. I enjoyed it. That's why I say I truly have no regrets, because I laid my bed, and I put my bed out there and I laid in it, man. I did what I did. I don't hold anything back. There was a lot of good times too, and
that's what I'm saying. That's what I mean. There was a lot of good times.
It's just who I am. This is it, man.
You have to.
I mean, that's life, bro. It's life. Who's to say that you go back and you do it all better? I don't want to live in that thought, because that thought kills me. That thought, keeps me up at night. I'd rather just, what? The past is the past. It is what it is. Some people don't like that term. It is what it is. But I do like using it, because, I mean, it's this, forget about it. We move on. We're moving on. We're trying to live in the present. I can't say for sure I do any better or worse. And I don't really want to test that fate. Somebody gave me that ability. That's too much ability to have. No, I don't like it. You know what? I mean, you didn't tell me I may never have the beautiful kids that I have nowadays.
It's a gamble.
It's a gamble. It's a gamble, bro. So not the one that I'm willing. I like to dabble every now and then, but that's one gamble I'm not willing to partake in.
That's on 13 again. You ever seen that movie? Isn't that a movie, 13 again? What is that?
13 again? Was it 13 going on 30 or some shit? There's a lot of those types of movies.
Yeah, it was so many. Yes, I think it was 13 going on 30, and then it was 17 again. Remember? With
I know you're talking about. Yeah. We're not. Yeah, I'm not doing that bullshit. Nah, I'm good. This is not a Doctor Who episode where I have the ability to just tell, well, we could take it back. No, I'm good. I don't want to go back.
That's fair.
I
get it.
might,
Yeah.
if you're telling me I could go back and relive a moment, we're not changing the fabric of
Not changing the
history.
whole. Okay,
We're
okay.
not
No, I'm
changing
not gonna
not
lie.
we're not changing the fabric of history, but if you could tell me, hey, I could go back and relive a moment, yeah, I might be
Listen,
down for that. I might have
listen. I'm
you know.
I'm Spider-Man in the whole multiverse. I'm going back. I'm creating a whole new timeline.
No, see, you're just gonna change
I'm
the
messing
fabric of
everything up.
time. You're gonna rip a hole, and haven't you watched that movie already? It's no good, bro. It never
I'm, me-
ends well. Okay.
I'm messing it up, man. I'm messing it up. I'm
No,
13 again.
you're changing
New movie.
everything, bro. There's
I'm
gonna be
changing.
World War IV. All right. You know, I don't
Well, you
know.
never know. Yo, listen. I don't know. I think I might put a ripple in the timeline, man.
Yeah,
I might
with the sound of it, you definitely will.
think I might.
Don't do it, man.
13.
Don't do it.
Yeah.
Don't go into the light. All right. Listen, basketball. Let's talk about it, and then we'll touch on that. Maybe a couple other sports topics, and we'll get out of here for the night. Those that are watching with us live here on Twitch and YouTube, appreciate you. Keep showing up as always. It's your boy Matty B, Epis Sports Radio. This is episode 64 of Epis Radio Entertainment. Thank you. What happened?
That'd been cool if it was episode 65, and that's what I go by. It's artist 65. That'd been so
Oh, damn. Too bad. Sorry. You might have to make a guest appearance for episode 65 this Sunday.
Right. Something that's crazy. Yeah,
This Sunday at a 12 p.m. Eastern Time, we will be celebrating another Women's History Month. Her name is Olivia. She is a book author. All right. I need all you women to come out here and support. We'll be highlighting some of her recent pieces of work and just having an overall nice discussion, a little dabble into her life and why she became a book author. So please join us here live on Twitch and YouTube, 12 p.m. Eastern, this Sunday, the 15th. And check out our latest episodes. Check out, the Epis Radio YouTube page. Subscribe. Keep those notifications on for any future content. Knicks and 101-92 over the Pacers tonight. Nice little win.
Yeah, that's what they're supposed to do.
That's it, right? That's right. Supposed to take care of business.
The Cavs looking good. The Cavs looking dangerously good. The Rockets pushed that 120-105. The Warriors getting killed, but by the Timberwolves is expected. Blazers, Jazz.
Yeah, a lot going on in the NBA. What are your thoughts,
It's gonna
bro?
be interesting.
What are your
The
thoughts
Knicks are
about your
gonna have to
Knicksies?
I'm not gonna lie, I like the way they look. I think this is the best Knicks team we've had since I've been alive. It's the
Yeah,
best
that's
Knicks team.
probably a fact. Yeah, outside of maybe they'll select Carmelo. Well, not even the Carmelos, but yeah,
Those are more entertaining teams, I'll say, but this is the best team.
yeah, definitely the team with the most.
I've seen in my time.
I guess you go back to this. I caught a little bit of the Spreewell, the Houston days. All that. So
I call Charlie Ward. No, I call Charlie Ward. I call Allen Houston. I call Latrell Sprewell.
Yeah,
Those are some good Knicks teams.
for sure. But you never felt like
these
they
guys
had
are-
the championship pedigree. This is really a Knick team.
This is really a thing.
Yeah. Now,
But I am worried about the Cavs now with James Harden, because James Harden always been able to do good. He's always had uncomfortable James Harden has always had circumstances that were a little tricky when he got to the playoffs, and he still was able to manage and do what he did in the West. Now he's in the East, and the East, like we've been saying, the East just as wide open as the East was or is for the Knicks. Now it's just as open for James Harden. He's making Jarrett Allen look like an all-star. He always does that with his centers. He has Donovan Mitchell, so the Cavs scare me right now with James Harden in the East. And then now you got Jason Tatum, first game back off of a career-changing injury, comes back and almost gets a triple-double with the Celtics. those two teams are who I'm scared of, but we can only face one of them, so I'm okay with those odds. I think the Knicks could get to the finals. Just got to get past the Celtics and the Cavs. Oh no, I'm sorry, the Pistons. I am disrespectful. The Pistons scare me. The Pistons are good playing good basketball too, but those four teams, but the Knicks can do it this year. But the West, that's where it's going to get interesting. The West has always been a better conference to me. In all my life, the West has always been better.
Yeah, notoriously have, right? But I mean, do you would you still agree with that? Obviously, you got the two, best teams in OKC and San Antonio, but Pistons, Knicks, Celtics, Cavs. I mean, that's a
Those are the
pretty
four best
strong
teams.
top
Those are
four, man.
okay. That's a strong top four. And
That's
now
a
you go
strong
over.
top four.
Now go to the West.
Yeah,
Who you
I
saying?
mean, you got OKC. I guess you got the Rockets, but
Thunder.
I don't really hold the Lakers to
How
that
many
regard.
championships? How many championships are in those Western Conference teams
Oh,
that
I
we
mean,
named
the
in the top four
championships
versus how
for
many
sure.
championships versus, and then you got to talk about how many in the last few years, in the last few decades. Like, yeah,
But I
I
mean,
think
yeah, if you're talking history-wise, sure, no doubt. I mean, the Lakers obviously up there, but even the Lakers right now sitting at a four. Do you really get that feeling that the Lakers are a championship team this year? I mean,
not
that's a
that they're a
hard,
championship, not that they're a championship team, but you put the Lakers in the finals with as they are now, with the Cavs as they are now. You don't think that Lakers team can win 4 games against the Cavs?
I mean, in that scenario, yes.
Who could,
I don't personally see that
can
being an outcome. Like,
can that Lakers team? Can that Lakers team? But just in case, like, they're not going to get there. But if they got there, that Lakers team is they could take any top four
well,
team in the East
anytime
to a
you
game
you
seven.
have LeBron James and Luca on the
And
floor,
Luka
I
Doncic.
think as long as they're
You never know.
healthy,
So you never know.
anything can
You
happen
never
for
know.
sure. I don't
You never know.
I don't foresee a situation. Even like Oklahoma, like it would require Oklahoma City to lose Shea Gilgeous due to injury, and the same goes with
Exactly.
the Spurs. For them to lose Wemby, we can't
Now who do you
predict that,
have?
obviously. You know,
So do and who do you have on the East that you can say can confidently beat the Thunder 4 times?
yeah, I want to say it's my Knicks, but it's not. It would be
Four
Detroit. Yeah,
times?
it would be Detroit. You know, and I mean, I don't know. The Knicks can play up to them, but the matchups, I still personally I don't see fit. If it did come down to OKC and the Knicks, I think they may be lucky if they win 1 or 2 games, and that would be it. I just that whole Brunson's a liability. When you got Shea on the floor, it's an issue. I know they just it's a matchup nightmare with OKC. Detroit is much better fit to stifle a team like that. But
I'm not gonna lie, the Cavaliers with James Harden is a very crazy team.
it is, and then,
Yes,
we don't talk. I don't talk about them as enough. You're right.
Cavs with James Harden is a scary team.
I think
They're
the Knicks could
basically
beat them though.
weren't they just the number 1 seed a couple not too long ago, the Cavs? Or weren't they
The
like a
Cavs,
1 seed? Yeah, they were like a
uh,
1 or 2 seed.
in their division potential, but they're 7.5 back right now. Detroit's hold that number one in the East down for.
Not now, but in the last few years, they was definitely up there, top
Oh
three. I think.
yeah, for sure. It depends. Yeah, they were up there, and then listen, they're still right there. I mean, they're only
Where they at right now?
they're number 4 seed in the East. They're only a game and a half behind the Knicks for the 3 seed, and 2.5. Oh no, 2 games away
telling
from
you.
Boston.
I'm
So
telling you, it's gonna get interesting. But the
I'm more
Cavaliers,
concerned with Boston because of Tatum's return.
I'm not.
And I heard a lot of
Okay,
people
okay.
criticizing that. And it's like, dude,
OG has that under control. I think OG and Mikal Bridges are gonna have that under control.
maybe. And I mean,
I'm not too worried
listen,
about Tatum. He's just getting
certainly,
back. He's not the same Jason Tatum. He's gonna contribute.
bro, the
but he's
guy
not
almost
the
had a
same Jason
triple
Tatum.
double the other night. You really
That's
gonna,
right. No, I understand. No,
you know,
he's gonna be good, but how long is he gonna be able to play at that level off of this injury? He's just now recovering from that too. I don't know. We'll see what
looks
his
good to
regimen is
me.
like.
I don't know, but
We'll see. We'll see how long.
I,
We'll see how long.
I'll give you, to your point, the Knicks certainly showed that they could handle them last year, even prior to the Tatum injury. It's something that me and my co-host have talked about on previous shows. The Knicks, the Boston Celtics fans, they'll have you think that, no, if it wasn't for Tatum getting injured, they would have had the Knicks number, and that's just simply not the case. That narrative is BS. They were well on their way to winning that series.
Yeah.
Despite they were about to go 3-1 in that game when Tatum got hurt, and they were ahead.
There was no,
You know what I'm saying? So I don't buy into that narrative, but that doesn't mean they. I mean, this Boston team has done it without Tatum all year. They've silently, showing you that they're still relevant, that they're right there. They're only 5 games back at Detroit. I mean, we overlooked these records a lot of the times, and there's been so much high praise from Detroit. This is Detroit's time to really prove themselves. You've held down this one slot. Now they showed signs last year, obviously making a name for themselves, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now they're the team. You got to go out and prove it. That's why I still like the Knicks. That's why I still like the Knicks in this, because
I do too. I like their chances. Best chances now than ever.
Right. Because
best chance now than ever.
And it kind of they're going into the postseason here with a little bit of chip on their shoulder, like Detroit's had the headline, but the Knicks are right there, man. I think they're gearing up for it. I think they've strategically navigated themselves through this season, gearing up for the playoffs. So they don't care as much for that one seed. As long as they're like a top 3, I feel like they're content with that. It'd be a shame to see them drop to the 4, because that could really pose like a matchup issue potentially for them. But
For sure.
Other than that,
I don't want to go against the Cavs in the first round.
yeah, you know what I mean. Like but like I don't know if that would be the matchup. But again, it's going to create some issues for them. They
somewhere
really
around there, yeah.
Yeah, they need to solidify that 3 or the 2, preferably the 2 seed, and they're only a game back of Boston at the moment. But Boston's got 2 games on them, so that could change.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Boston has played 2 less games than the Knicks, so that actually could change right now. They have a little bit of advantage on that, so we'll see. But overall, there was a lot of people panicking a while back, when Detroit, beat up on the Knicks again. If it's Detroit, Knicks, Eastern Conference Finals, you're feeling good. You're worried. You think, you are a little bit.
Worried.
Yeah.
I'm worried. That's historical. That's great. That's beautiful. But I'm worried. I'm worried.
I'm ready for it, man. I don't know if I'm feeling worried there in that scenario, but again,
Detroit got dogs over there. Detroit got real dogs.
they do. Yeah, Cade Cunningham's the real deal, and that team is the real deal. The depth that they have.
New York.
Yeah, I don't know about that. I
New
think
York
they
dogs, just like
I think they put on that
Detroit
persona,
dogs is a little
but
different.
yeah, we'll see.
Detroit now, them guys, I think they're a little tougher than I think Cat and Brunson and Hart maybe and them would like. I don't know. They play very similar around their guard, Cade and Jalen.
Mm.
And now they got their big man that's actually starting to show a little bit, and they role players. That'll be an interesting matchup. It'll be a matter of who wants it more. That's where I'm worried at.
Are you upset that they didn't make the big move outside of Alvarado at the deadline? Which I
love the
was
Alvarado
good.
move. No,
Yeah, but did you feel like they needed to make the move for Giannis? And even though I don't really think it was as realistic as the rumors were saying it was, but even going after somebody else. I mean,
I'd have loved it, but I love that they got Alvarado too. I love what they're doing right now. I think if they'd have got Giannis for Cat.
Well, it wasn't only going to be Cat. That's
Exactly.
what I'm saying.
That would have been the problem. That would have been
Yeah.
the problem. So I like that they got Alvarado now. I'm curious to see what happens with this whole Kawhi Leonard contract thing. I'm curious to see if something drastic's gonna happen with that. They're saying the Lakers, the Warriors, and the Knicks could be a potential. But we'll see. I don't know how true that stuff is.
Yeah,
He's
that
playing
whole
really well.
involvement with the scandal and everything. I mean, yeah, it could be some real time implications for Kawhi and all that. That'd be interesting. And I've heard the rumors that if he does become free, that hey, Knicks would be a top suitor. At this point in his career, I don't know. Could be liability, but we've seen when he's healthy, man, he can still ball.
You know what I mean?
So
He'll come here and doesn't have to do much.
right, I would agree with you. You're right. I think it would be a really good fit actually for him. I don't know.
Play defense too.
That remains to be seen, though. What do you think about the 83-point game from Bam Adebayo?
It was cool. It was cool.
That's it. It was just cool. The guy made history, bro. First, most points in an NBA game since Kobe's 81, and outside of Chamberlain's 100. Which some people say didn't really happen, but.
When they first said it, I was like, whoa, amazing, cool, yes.
Yeah.
Then I went and saw it, and I was like, 40-something free throws with...
It was like 46
cool.
free throws, yeah.
I give it to him. Me as a basketball player didn't score 83 points in a game ever. So that's amazing that he did that in the highest level, but it's like, I like the way Kobe did it a little bit better. His 81 was a better performance than that 83 to me. More entertaining. But then I do compare the 60-point Kobe's last game to the Bam Adebayo 83-point game. It was like at that point it wasn't real basketball. It was let's solidify this moment in history, which is okay too. But
that's a good point. And the key word there is that it just really, or the key phrase is that it wasn't real basketball. And that's I think the part that I kind of have a problem with. I do have a clip that I could play for the people about Eric Spoelstra's comments afterwards. How he said, I don't really care what people think. I don't, in case you guys haven't watched it, there is a clip out there towards the end of the game, where they're intentionally missing free throws and intentionally, fouling to, get an extra possession so that Bam can get the ball and do his thing. And in a blowout game, I forget the score exactly, but they were up huge in that game. I think it was like, almost 30 points at that point. Definitely like 20 plus. Like it wasn't a game. It wasn't even competitive at that point. Crazy. And you're intentionally missing free throws. Like that bothers me a little bit. At least grind for it. Like
that's what it is, though. I guess that's a moment in history you're just never gonna get an opportunity to reach again. So I get it too. I guess.
Yeah, I hear you, but like to me that's a little skewed. I personally will remember that. Maybe I don't know, maybe not. Maybe 20 years from now oh yeah, Bam, that one night crazy, 83 points. Probably not. Probably not. You're right. Like it's not, as good as Bam is.
I didn't even see the full game. It was the Wizards.
Right.
And they lost still.
Yeah,
I believe they lost still.
Well,
Did they lose still?
Hold on, let me check back. Because I wasn't watching. I thought they were on the winning side of things. Could I have been wrong? Hold on. Let's see. 83 performance. Yeah. It was a win. Oh no, that was the previous game. They beat the Bucks in a previous game. Hold on. What was the score? Okay. Yeah, I'm looking for a full score there. 36 of 43 from the foul line. 14 of 16 in the fourth quarter.
Holy crap, bro. Like, come on, what are we talking?
Yeah, that is a lot.
That's good shot making too, though. I'll be honest, though. That is good shot making.
No doubt about it.
That's 14 for 16 is very good shot making.
I
haven't watched it either. I don't know if they were all dunks and whatnot, but that's still good shot making. I'm
checking it right now for you.
But he did win, though.
Yeah, it was a win. 150 to 129. And again, like that's obscure. I'm pulling up the box score now. They Wow, that's just absurd. They scored 40 in the first, 36 in the second, 37 in the third, and 37 in the fourth. So the lowest scoring quarter for them was 36 in the second. And even for the Wizards were lights out as well. They was just nonstop scoring in this one. Their lowest scoring quarter for them was 29 in the first. And they were well ahead. They were well ahead at that point. It wasn't even close come the fourth quarter, bro. That's what I mean. And I think they took him out with a couple of minutes left to play. But it was, only until he got his 83. 42 minutes he played, 20 for 43. 7 for 22 from downtown, 36 for 43, like I mentioned before, from the free throw line.
I thought he would have more threes than that. Wow.
Yeah, the threes, he only had 7. He was 7 for 22, but he had 22 attempts, bro.
Damn.
22 attempts, bam.
He didn't make some more threes. 100.
Yeah, no doubt, actually, if he was more accurate from there, which is, 7 for 22. It's not terrible, but it's not the greatest either. But you're right. Like,
you make 3 more threes.
Right.
You have a chance at 100.
Yeah. He wasn't too far off from it, But again, to what avail? I mean, like, Wizards,
free throw. You make 3 more threes and make all your free throws.
Yeah, that's asking a lot, bro. I mean, listen, he made most of the 36 of 43 from free throw. That's pretty damn consistent. That's hard to do.
So how about you make 4 more free throws? You go 40 for 43, and then you make 3
more threes. Yeah.
That's 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. That's 13 points. He had 83 plus 10. That's 93. That's 96. Okay.
What do you think his plus minus was?
He got like 70.
His plus minus?
Yeah.
It was only plus 20. So, and that kind of tells you, like, the shoddy defense and things like that. Like, that's still really good, plus 20. Like, it was the most of any player on the court that night. The second best was his teammate, Davion Mitchell, who only played 24 minutes, by the way. So, and that was plus 16. But, like, it kind of, like, shows that plus minus is a little bit glaring because it's like you would think a guy, dominant, 83 points the whole 9. Yeah, like, plus 40, plus 50, some shit, like some weird, crazy astronomical number. And it was only plus 20, 9 rebounds, 3 assists, 5 turnovers. He had 5 turnovers, bam. That was in itself... That was the second. That was the most on the Heat. Bub Carrington, who the hell is that? On Washington, 7 turnovers. So
What
bad.
does it take on purpose though, so they could get that number 1 pick and then come back with the number 1 pick, Trae Young and Anthony Davis?
Well, that's a story in itself, bro. The fact that they traded, for Young and all that, it's just like everything that they've done over there, and the whole tanking issue in the NBA, man, it is a problem. It's got to be fixed. It's got to be changed. You can't have teams trading for certain assets and willingly, sitting them down or being a healthy scratch just for the sake of a tank. Right. It's not good. This is why the NBA is having viewership issues. That's why ratings are down. Across the sport. It's reasons like that, man. And then, like you said, to your credit, it's not real basketball. This kind of fourth quarter is not real basketball that you're watching. Why? At least with the Kobe 81-point game, it was competitive. For the most part in that game, right?
For the most part,
it was necessary, for him to get there. The guy, took a lot of free throws and things like that. If you look back in that game as well, we could check.
Did he though?
I'll check. Not as much as that. No way. But I'll check. I'll pull up the numbers for you.
He might have only had 30. He might have had less.
That's
than
still
30.
a lot, bro.
What?
Point game. That's still a lot. I've heard the argument with Chamberlain's 100 point that wasn't real basketball. That was a spectacle in itself.
I mean, if I'm 6'8" and the next tallest person is like 6'1", I'm getting 100 some point too.
Right. Exactly.
Game just did it.
You know,
I'm sure 100 back in the 60s.
people want to say that shit didn't even happen, but it did. I know we don't have proper footage on it or anything, but it must have been nonsense, bro. It's like, all right, we'll just get down the floor, give it to, all right, boom, skyhook, all right, call it. Like, what are we doing here? It's not real basketball. There's no, strategy towards it or anything. All right, so, final guess on Kobe's free throws in the 81-point game. And this was back, when was this?
I'm going to say 27.
When was this? It was January 22nd, 2006 against the Raptors. All right, on the road. It's on the road? I think they were at home, actually. What was it?
I'm going to say 27.
20 free throws. 18 for 20. That's a low number. That's a low number for that. Shit, I think
20 free throws and got 81
points.
That's way more impressive.
Yeah, and he had. See, but that speaks
And he
volumes.
only missed 2 of them.
Bro, that speaks. How many threes do you think he had?
More than 7. No, maybe not. I'm going to say he probably only had about 5, maybe 5 threes.
No, he had exactly 7. But he's 7 for 13, compared to Bam's 7 for 22.
So you telling me he went 8 for 20 from the free throw line? That's 90%.
18 for 20. Yeah.
I'm sorry, 18 for 20, 90. Then he went
7 for 13.
That's almost about.
That's more than 50%.
Mm-hmm. More than 50%.
Yep.
And then what's the field goal?
He was 28 for 46. So that mid-range game was lethal. And that speaks volumes to that game back in the day, because they prioritized the mid-range back then. That was why it was better basketball. That was why it was more efficient. It was more interesting to watch, because guys back then could actually play in the mid-range. They didn't need to shoot the three always.
Now what if Kobe made all his free throws?
Well, I mean, he only attempted 2 more than he missed, so he would.
Those last 2, he still had the record.
He would have the record right there, 83. Right, 1 more 3 also beats that. And he played 42 minutes. I think Bam played the same amount, if I'm not mistaken. Same amount there.
I'll take Kobe's.
And to be fair, they ran away in the fourth in that game. Or mainly in the second half, they ran away. It was because they were down early. That's what people don't find. So they were really, it really required him to do a lot, because he got crazy hot in that second half. Toronto was dominating in the first half of this game. They outscored them 36-29 in the first, and 27-20 in the second. So they
up by at least 11 points.
Yeah, they were up big. They were big in that after that first half, and just Kobe just crazy came out nuts in that second half. They scored 42 in that third. I don't know how much he had in that third, but that let's see. Can I see it play by play? Yeah, that's huge, man.
That's tough, man.
It really changed the narrative in that game, and that's why, to me, it's a little bit more, where I think that'll be the more memorable game, especially when you look at Bam.
Of course it will. Of course it will. Of course it will.
And at least it's a little bit more credible. You could say, all right, it took a lot of free throws and all that, but to score 81, I mean, you're going to have to get to the line. You're going to have to do your thing.
You're going to have to get to
and I think that's a pretty respectable amount. It's not like it was an egregious number. I mean, shit, I think Shea Gilgeous does more than that on a daily night, right?
Yeah, Shea is shooting a lot of free throws. Shea Gilgeous is shooting a lot of free throws.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying,
But he's good at what he does though. Shea, he's good at what he does. I like it. I like Shea. I do like Shea.
Sometimes
Shea,
it kind of
Shea's
pisses
good
me
at what
off watching him, but he is such a freakish athlete.
Shea is good at what he does, man.
Yeah,
I like Shea. He's a Kentucky guy. I like Kentucky. I
right.
like the Wildcats. It's Calipari. Well, I like Calipari. I'm an Arkansas guy now.
He man, did you see his post game presser? I think it was yesterday where they dumped water on him, and
Well, they won the conference.
nah. Like this just happened, where they dumped the other night. I think it was last night.
I missed
He
it.
won. It was a game winner, and his teammates dumped a little water on him and shit. He was pissed off, bro. And he literally says to the reporter, he's like, they're gonna like with a real face. He was pissed off, bro. Like, and he says to the reporter, he's like, they're gonna learn. They're gonna learn. I don't know. He's a little cocky, man. For me, Shay. I don't know. There's something about him. Yeah, but they respect him over there. They respect him over there.
I like
Yeah. I'm trying to find it for you. Yeah, was it the OKC? Yeah, it was OKC Boston game. Yeah, 104, 102. What did he do? What did he end up? Yeah, 35 points. I think he had the game winner, the one that solidified it. Ooh, only 8 free throws. 7 for 8. So this is legitimate game for Shea right there.
He's a hooper. He's a hooper.
Yeah, nah. Listen, I'm not knocking him. He's been great. Definitely up there. Who do you say is the best in the game right now? You say it's Shea or you say it's somebody else?
Shea.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's doing whatever he wants.
Not Wemby? I'd have to go Wemby, bro.
Not yet. Wemby's stoppable still.
Yeah. All right.
You still have to do Wemby's stoppable still.
You think he's stoppable? And Shea's not stoppable? I've seen Wemby stop him. I've seen but obviously two different builds the whole nine, but I don't know, man. I don't know. I think on any night, if Wemby wanted to, he could just outright. I mean, you're not blocking his shot. He can virtually get his shot anytime he's won. Not that Shea can't either. He can certainly create his own shot.
Yeah, it's just different ways of doing it. It's interesting. It's tough.
Yeah. But I think you look at the defense, like the defensive stats that this guy's, pulling. Wemby, is absurd. The amount of blocks this guy's had is just
he could win MVP and
unreal.
Rookie of the year. I mean, defensive player of the year.
Yeah. Nah, damn well right should. He's up there with the best I could compare him is especially like two-way is Shohei Ohtani with baseball. I mean, I just don't.
Right.
There's really not as much as I want to make the argument for there's other great players. There's nobody doing what he's doing. And I look at Wemby in that same category where there's just, on both sides of the ball, there's nobody doing what he's doing like that. It's just kind of absurd. You can find other offensive players that match those numbers, no doubt. And his minutes have been managed a little bit. But defensively, it's another world. He's gonna break defensive records in the blocking category like Steph Curry did with the threes. It's gonna be records that are
gonna have offensive records.
Yeah. So I don't know. I just I think there's certainly an argument to be made, and we can have the debate on it. But those got to be the top two. Outside of that, maybe Jokic. LeBron, as good as he is, I think he's finally he's finally gone down. Maybe that 5, 6.
That's okay.
Where does Brunson lie with you in that category? Is he even in the top 10?
Top 10.
Yeah.
Top 10 player, top 5 point guard. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I like that assessment. I agree with you. Yeah. I don't think I could confidently put him in the top 5 best, but top 10 and top 5
best point guards right now.
Right. Yeah, I agree. Yeah, in terms of the point guards, top 5, yeah. But overall, best in the game at the moment, yeah.
10.
Probably
10.
Probably a high 10, 8.
Yeah.
7 or 8, maybe
like
a
that.
9.
No, I say 10. There's definitely 9 players better than Brunson.
Yeah, see? Yeah, see,
I'll put him at 10.
yeah.
And I'll be happy if he can
Can
stay
you
at 10.
name them right now off the top of your head?
Shea, Wemby, Jokic.
Shea, Wemby, Jokic, that's 3. See. Now you start.
Anthony Edwards.
Okay, I had Ant up there too. But that's a tough call to make, though. But all right.
Anthony Edwards.
Come on, you're forgetting some key ones.
Luka Doncic.
Yeah.
Dare I say?
Was Wemby a part of your first 3?
I said Wemby at the
You
2.
did, right? It was a part of the first 3. Yeah.
I'm at 6, I think, right now.
No, you're at 5.
I'm at 5.
Yeah. You got Wemby, Jokic, Shea, Anthony Edwards, Luka. Right? That was 5.
Okay, 5. Okay, so you don't think James Harden's not better than Brunson?
Right now, you think so?
Okay.
I don't. I'm not co-signing that.
Okay.
I'm not co-signing that.
Maybe
Maybe
Cooper Flag.
Really?
I was asking, just asking. Okay.
Yeah.
Just asking.
I mean, bro, this is your
Kawhi
top
Leonard.
10.
Kawhi Leonard, for sure.
Okay. All right.
Tyrese Maxey.
You putting Maxey above Brunson?
Yes.
Wow.
Absolutely.
Wow.
Tyrese Maxey.
I'm not knocking Maxey. I think he's obvious, legitimate star and all that.
Look at what he's doing. Go look at what he's doing. Tyrese Maxey, yeah.
Damn.
Tyrese Maxey.
So you rather have Maxey on the Knicks than Brunson?
Yes.
Really? That might have been the hot take of the night.
He's doing. Go watch.
That might have been the hot take of the night. Hot take of the night. That one's gonna. I might have to cut this up.
I wouldn't mind. I would not mind. Go watch Tyrese Maxey. You'd be surprised. I'm telling you. I wouldn't mind. I would not mind. I think Tyrese Maxey is better than Brunson.
I think Brunson brings I think there's a clutch element to Brunson that you're forgetting in comparison to Maxey.
All right.
But I like it. I mean, like, I respect it. You know, that is.
And he's a better defender. And
no, I agree with you there. No doubt. But I think offensively, I think Brunson brings a different element. But two-way, yeah. Yeah.
And then obviously Steph Curry's hurt right now, so I won't say him. But yeah, but that's and then Cade Cunningham. So that's already what.
Cade was up there too. Yeah.
Cade Cunningham, that's 8 right there. And then at 9, I would say better than Brunson. 9. Is Kyrie Irving? No, Kyrie Irving's hurt, right?
Yeah, not playing right now. Thinking one more. Tatum? I don't know.
No, not right now. Giannis.
Yeah, Giannis. Right, we're forgetting freaking the Greek. Yeah.
That's easy. So yeah, I'll put Tatum at 10. That's arguable right there because people will argue that still.
So you even
Tyrese Maxey's at 9. Tyrese Maxey's at 9.
So you like reluctantly putting Brunson in the top 10. I'm glad I asked this question now. I'm glad I asked this because this is big. My man's got Maxey. You hear this, Knicks fans? My man's got Maxey over Brunson. Man, this is I am gonna pose this debate to a lot of people.
Just real quick, what's the stats like? Just real quick, what's the stats
overall? His stats this year. All right, pull it up. Yeah.
Maybe I'm going crazy. From what I see, I see Tyrese Maxey doing good things.
No, I mean, no doubt about it. I just, I think Knicks fans have some choice words about this. 61 games, averaging 38.3 minutes, 29 points. All right. I believe Brunson's averaging more. I'll pull that up. 46.1 from the field. That's pretty damn good. Certified bucket getter. 37% from the 3-point line, 89% free throw shooter, 4 rebounds a game, almost averaging 7 assists, 2 steals. Very good. Highest in his career he's averaging now, 2 steals per game. That's phenomenal. That's just a pest. And about 2.5 turnovers per game. Let's check the Brunson stat.
That's a crazy state play. It sounds crazy, but I like Tyrese Maxey. But let's see Brunson.
It's a pretty hot take. Brunson, 63 games, a little less in minutes, so you got almost 3 minutes less averaging. 20. Oh, wow. Okay. I was wrong. 26.3 a game.
Yo, listen, man. Yo, listen. Maxey.
I mean, to be fair, the Knicks are a better team.
The Knicks are a better team.
Knicks are a better team. Brunson has distributed the ball a little bit more than usual this year, but still the main.
Assists? How many steals?
Still the main focal. Well, we know Brunson's not matching him there, bro. I mean, steals. He's not even averaging 1 per game. He's lucky if he gets 1. 0.7. Assists. Damn, Maxey got him beat. 6.7. It's about the same. You know, Brunson got 6.6. Rebounds, 3.5 for Brunson. Obviously, you know, Brunson's not really in that category. 4.1. I'm not making a very good argument if we're just looking at statistically. When it comes to free throw percentage, 84% for Brunson from the free throw. And like I said before, 89 for Maxey. 37%, 37.1. No, 37.7, excuse me, from the three-point line. 37.3 for Maxey, so virtually the same there. And then field goal percentage, yeah, okay. Brunson's got the slight edge, 46.4 over Maxey's 46.1. So Maxey's averaging 3 more, but he's also averaging 3 more minutes a game. So it's about the same.
It's about the same.
It's about the same overall. The most glaring difference in their stat line is the steals. So I'll give you that much. I'll give you that much. Like he's clearly just
okay. So let's take the names away. Let's take everything that we know right now away. I come to you right now. I say you have to pick a player to go play on the New York Knicks right now. This is all you get right here is these 2 stat lines. Who are you picking?
Yeah, I hate you because I'm gonna say Tyrese Maxey.
You're gonna say the guy that's doing everything and then getting 2 steals.
Yes, I will, and me specifically me because I'm a defensive-minded guy. So yeah.
But if you pay attention to Tyrese Maxey because he's really playing a really good offense.
And then wait, because Maxey did get paid, right? So how much is he? What's the contract difference?
The contract is probably a lot different because he got paid, but he also I think Embiid was. I don't know. You gotta look. I'm not sure.
Maxey signed that 5-year deal. $240 million.
Dang.
With the 76ers in July 2024, fully guaranteed, no options. He's going to be with the team through the 28-29 season. Salary starting around $35 million in 24-25, escalating to over $46 million in the final year of its contract. Okay. So Brunson contract is probably just... You're probably getting more value. 4-year, $156 million.
Maxey's next contract's gonna get ugly.
Yeah, Maxey's contract getting ugly long term. So
wait,
Brunson got the better, like contractually, it's a better deal for the Knicks than it is for the Philly with their deal. You know, it's gonna get ugly for them.
But it's going to get ugly for them, but now imagine if you had half of what Brunson has and you're getting what Tyrese Maxey is giving you. Now you have more money to go. I would rather Tyrese Maxey right now.
Right now?
Just everything about him.
You could make, you make the argument for sure. because the salary on the year right now is, Maxi's getting $3 more. That's not going to hurt me. It's not going to make or break me this year. He's getting $3 more than Brunson is. And, you got, he's a great two-way player, the whole nine. Listen, if you give us, that information, both contracts, the stat lines, blind, I think you'd be foolish to probably pick otherwise. Again, it's not super glaring of a difference, but to me, that key stat, that stat, the steals, that's production in itself. Like that matters.
That means a couple of games he's getting 4 or 5.
Exactly, and it also means that he's clamping down, he's preventing other teams from scoring.
You understand? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
And it's a glaring issue that the Knicks have with Brunson.
As a guard.
Right.
As a 6'4", 6'5", yeah. And he's taller than him, I think.
Yes, I believe so.
So you're just getting an upgrade. Yeah. You're kind of getting an upgrade in a way.
I can't argue it, bro. I really
3 series
can't.
to a 5 series. That's it.
Initially, when you said it, it sounded crazy, and then we start to break it down.
Crazy.
And I'm like, you know what?
I had to watch Tyrese Maxey and really were like, whoa.
Now, is it also a matter of like his numbers are slightly inflated because the 76ers are not as good? He's picking up a lot of sacks
right now, right?
No, they are. They're a playoff seed, no doubt. We'll see them. They're going to be around. But with the story with Embiid, yeah, he's load management. He's the same shit as always, right?
Yeah, he's doing this on a team with Joel Embiid was just the MVP. And he's hurt. And now you have me stepping up and averaging 30 points. It's definitely because they're lower, but I mean that's impressive still.
And
you get him someone, and then they got VJ Edgecombe, the rookie. You give him someone.
Yeah, Edgecombe's nice. Yeah, and I think.
Now you tell me is Brunson averaging 30 on the Sixers right now? If you switch them up right now.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah, even without all those pieces around him.
Yeah, no, because Brunson, he's shown you that he can create on his own. He doesn't need, to move the ball around all nine.
I think that 26 goes to 22-20.
No. If you replace the two, because he's gonna be the focal point, bro. He might even pick up his numbers. His numbers might even pick up more.
Once you shut him down, you force the ball in his hand. There's but so much you could do.
I hear what you're saying, but I think he's shown enough proof that he can create, and he's smart enough. The IQ is smart enough that, all right, maybe the numbers do go down, but it'd have to be a situation in which they double team constantly, and that, like, there's enough pieces around him on that team to where, like, it's not going to bode well for a team if they constantly are double teaming.
You know what? Yeah, I think he still averages about 25.
Hell yeah, I think the numbers will be similar.
30 on the Knicks. Maxey might average 32 on the Knicks.
Here's the other glaring stat with that, and to make your argument, let's throw in the age factor there. If you're giving me that stat line and saying, oh well, this guy is 25 years old, this guy's 29 years old, who do you pick?
25.
Maxey.
Whoa. I didn't even realize he was that young. Bro.
Right, he's born in 2000, bro, November 4th. So he's only 25. He's got 4 years. Yeah,
I'm Tyrese Maxey. He's yeah. At 25, yeah. I'll take Tyrese right now. Tyrese Maxey for Jalen Brunson right now. I'll do it.
Just a swap trade. That's it. Yeah.
That's it. I'd do that. I'd do that without a heartbeat. Because we're still gonna get a playmaker. We're still gonna have a scorer, but we're just gonna now have him playing defense as well.
Yeah.
And with a little bit more flash to it.
Cooper, Flag, or Brunson right now? Right now, swap it. Cooper, Flag, or Brunson? Ooh, that's a tough call. That's a tough call to make.
It is tough, but I'm taking Cooper for long-term purposes.
Damn, son.
I love Brunson.
Shots fired, baby. Everybody, you heard it here on Epis Radio. All right.
Cooper and Cat, with everyone we have right now, OG and them guys.
Blow it up. Fuck it. If the Knicks lose, blow it up.
we could get
Brunson's gone. Nah, bro. Brunson has been the biggest thing that happened in New York sports outside of Aaron Judge in this city.
Cooper Flag will be too.
For decades, bro.
Watch what Cooper Flag turns into.
And he just said, you know what? If we can bag Maxey or somebody else like that, it's all right. It's all good. We're gonna throw everything that Brunson did out the window and call it a
Not
day.
gonna lie, Brooks only got about 2-3 more years in him though.
Nah, I mean maybe of like pure dominance, but he's gonna be in the league for like 5-6 years, still being a.
But he's not gonna be able to be the best. He's not gonna be able to perform on a contending team for New York like that.
Yeah.
29. He'll be 30 in 3 years. By the time this contract is up, he'll be in mid-30s. Anthony Edwards and Tyrese Maxey, these guys are LaMelo Ball. These guys are, come on. His window is closing. Stephen Curry is still here too.
That's a hot take Friday, man. I gotta say, hot take Friday right there from my man.
I love him. I met him when he was in college. I love him, but his window is closing now. He got these young guards.
Wow. I can't wait to talk about this with my co-host. This is going to be good because I'm going to propose this very same shit that you proposed to me in terms of the stat line. Say, who would you take? I hope he didn't hear this conversation. I actually shout out to W. Dubois. He was in the chats earlier in the show. Said great show to both of us earlier.
I appreciate that.
Yeah, I want to hear more about this. I might even have to throw out a poll online or something. This is a good debate. Good debate. I like it. Anyway, I think it's about time we get out of here, and I just want to thank you for coming on, man. I really had a lot of fun doing this with you. You know, another guest speaker of the show. I hope, by all means, you had your fun. You want to come on in the future?
Yes, absolutely. Let me know.
Good luck again. Please, just to reiterate, the show that you're coming out with, your latest album, where the people can find it, the whole nine. Let the people know, bro.
All right, so the next show I got coming out is April 2nd. You can reach out to me on the Instagram. For it's a private event, private showcase, private show. That's April 2nd. I just dropped the EP before I go on all platforms. Follow my Instagram. It's up here, you said, right?
Yeah, official 6 FIF right there.
I got the links everywhere. Just go to the Instagram. You can follow the links. I'm on all platforms.
There you go. So, check them out. And if you want...
Thank you for having me. Thank you for everyone who supports the platform. Let's keep it going. This is amazing. Thank you.
I appreciate you, bro. Don't go anywhere. Let me close out things. Check them out. Like I said, you know, if you're just tuning in with us now, you're catching the later half of the episode, replay the first half. We debut a little bit of his music off the recent EP. We have a long discussion about a little mental health related stuff. Good stuff, all in all. Definitely some great conversation in there. And as always, man, you know, keep showing up. Everybody out there, you know, if you'd like to be a guest speaker on a future episode, hit me up in the DMs on my Instagram. Hit me, email us, episportsradio@gmail.com. Okay, a lot of things going on. Join us for episode 65 this Sunday, 12 p.m. Eastern Time. On the 6th, well, now it's already Saturday, Jesus. On the 15th, yeah, it's already, we're all past midnight. On the 15th, join us tomorrow. All right, for another celebration of Women's History Month, bringing a lovely book author on the show. Can't wait for that. I'll be throwing out a promo for that later on today. And that is it, everybody. I hope you have a beautiful Friday night, Saturday morning, whichever one you want to call. If you're out there, you're celebrating, you're having a good time, please enjoy yourself responsibly, drink responsibly, don't be driving. And just to retouch on what we talked about early in the show, and again, my condolences to your friend who recently unalived himself. If you're battling with something, please reach out to somebody, talk to somebody. You are not alone. There is people that want to help you. There is people in your corner that I'm sure are willing to listen. You could dial 988, the suicide health crisis lifeline, or you can text it as well, 988. All right, everybody, this concludes episode 64 of Epis Radio. Again, from the bottom of my heart, keep showing up. Until next time.
Wake up! Is every number where it was? Has this dream stopped?
I will say to him, you do that. And forget the money. Because if you say that getting the money is the most important thing, you will spend your life completely wasting your time. You'll be doing things you don't like doing in order to go on living, that is, to go on doing things you don't like doing, which is stupid. Better to have a short life that is full of what you like doing than a long life spent in a miserable way.
Yo, all right. All right, everybody. Have a wonderful night. Keep showing up as always. It's your boy Matty B, Epis Radio Entertainment. Later.